Do. 4, 3, 2, 1. My brother and the man who got me into Instagram. If it wasn't for you, I would have abandoned it. Remember? You're the one.
And I
one of the
still
podcasts.
got like 40,000 followers, and you got like 4 million.
I don't have that many. I don't even think I have 2 million. Do I have 2 million? Whatever. You got me into it, man.
Hey, sláinte.
Sláinte. What does that mean? You say that all the time.
Sláinte is like the Gaelic Irish salud, or Nasrovia. It's that. It's sláinte. It's like SLAINTE with like one of them crazy marks on it.
Oh, so Gaelic.
Gaelic is a fucking
real
crazy language to read or try and pronounce some shit. It'll be like somebody's name will be Gary and it'll be spelt with like 17 letters.
Crucifixes and shit.
Yeah,
crucifixes
old runes.
What's that crucifix with the circle? What is that?
I think it's among those runes and shit. I don't know.
Dude, does anyone speak Gaelic? Can you go have a conversation with someone in Gaelic?
In Ireland people do for sure.
So is it like I'm
sure it's a dying, lost kind of fading away thing, but you'll find pockets that definitely do.
It's fucking crazy when you stop and think about how many different languages there are. Like, have you done much touring in Asia?
Really only Japan. I've never been to Korea, never been to like China, never been to Indonesia or anything. That's not Asia. Indonesia, yes, sort of Asia.
I've only been to Japan and only for a few days with the UFC.
Love Japan, though, man. Japan is my favorite.
Oh, it's amazing. The people are so nice and polite, and it's fascinating how their culture works.
One of the reasons I love it so much too is it's like you go to Europe, you don't feel foreign necessarily. You know what I mean? It's really the foreigner experience when you're there. Like, I am the obvious outsider. I'm taller than most people, and I'm Caucasian, and there's a lot of places there. Like, I try to go to, like, I'd get the lowdown on a sushi spot from somebody that I knew there, and then you go there and be like, oh, no, Gaijin, we don't serve them. We don't serve y'all here. Like, still places like that, you know what I mean? When you try and get the down low Anthony Bourdain treatment, like, if you ain't Anthony Bourdain, you might not have no luck.
You don't show up at that 0.0 crew. Yeah, man, it just, they're so different than us in their culture that it's like this crazy immersion into like an alternative world. Like, Japanese writing is so different than American writing. The sound their language is so different than the sound of English that when you go there, you're like, wow, this is like I'm literally peering into a coexisting alternative world. Like, what if there was no different languages? It was just language. Like, everybody knew what everybody spoke, right? And your language was the sounds that they make and the way they interpret things. And the way they interpret things shapes the way they look at reality.
For sure.
It's a weird, like, our culture is in a lot of ways almost like an operating system. I think Terence McKenna described it that way. And I think it kind of makes sense. It is like an operating system. You know?
We learn a basic set of parameters and rules that we all kind of abide. Yeah, we're all individuals within it, but like there's, hey, in this society, this is what's acceptable and this is what isn't, and here's how we peer at things.
And then when you see something like we were talking about this book, Dear Reader, Michael Malice, who was on yesterday, who was just amazing podcast guest, but was talking to us about North Korea. Like, that's a totally different operating system, and that shit is going on right now. Right now, there's like a whole country that's in prison.
Yeah, what's amazing to me is that many people can be subdued in that manner. Like, where's, you read throughout history, is like, people got sick and tired of some shit after a while and just bucked up.
Yeah.
Where are they? What is going on there? What mastery do these dudes have that it's crazy? I mean, I look at that now, there's millions of people that are starving and still and this dude's living in his whatever Golden Palace, whatever kind of lifestyle, and nobody's really like trying to revolutionize or start a revolution or buck up and make. A coup would be a problem because I think the old guys around him are even crazier. But
Malice was telling me why. He was saying that the way their society is structured, everybody reports on everybody else about what you did wrong. Like, if you and I were hanging out together, we'd be forced to report at the end of the day. I would have to report on everything you did wrong. Like, maybe you didn't cry long enough when something happened. Maybe you didn't express enough grief. Like, there's like rules to the way you grieve. Wow. People who didn't grieve hard enough got 6 months of hard labor for not grieving hard enough when Kim Jong-il died.
Yeah.
Woo!
That's crazy.
So they tell on each other. So they have this crazy culture of telling each other. The podcast was fascinating, man. That dude is a really, really interesting guy. Scary. That's a world that's happening right now.
It exists.
Yeah, and next door, it's South Korea, which is thriving.
And pop culture galore.
Yeah, crazy plastic surgery. Those girls all get not all of them, but a high percentage of girls get their eyes changed. They get this crazy surgery that makes your eyelids, they shrink your eyelids so they don't have the Asian look, the thinner eyelids.
They're trying for more of a round eye thing.
They're trying for more of an anime thing.
Oh, the big eye thing.
Have you seen it?
I think I have, but I don't think it was an Asian girl. I think I saw some girl on the internet who's trying to look really much like.
Oh,
she
I know what
did
you're
look
talking
like
about.
a fucking
That's
anime
that Barbie
character.
lady, right? The Barbie lady.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, there's people that go deep.
It's like, how do you think like that? How's your brain working? I mean, like, you're not looking in the mirror and seeing the same thing I am. This is giving you satisfaction. I don't understand.
I think it's just body dysmorphia. It's the same thing as like a person who's a bodybuilder who just can't get big enough, or a woman who can't get fake enough breasts. Like they keep wanting to get bigger and bigger ones. You don't see yourself how everybody else sees you. So it's almost like a disease. And I think that
it's always funny because I always thought I was a pretty fucking awesome dude.
Yeah, well, you got what's called self-esteem. Should pull those pictures up. So check out what they do. See if you can see good ones. 3 reasons why Wonjin plastic surgery for eyelid surgery. But show some like before and afters.
I see a little one right there. Yeah,
they're kind of crazy. Some of them are kind of crazy. Like they look like a totally different human. Like if you went to high school with her, you'd be like, what?
Oh,
that seems totally normal right there. There's been some extreme ones. See if you can find
her
it.
whole face is different shaped at that point, the one you just passed. So
yeah, well,
there was more than just eyes done there, man.
It's interesting. You're seeing that younger and younger girls are having that kind of stuff done too. Whoa, damn.
Whoa.
That one was very successful.
That was a good decision.
Yeah, that was an excellent decision. But how do we know these are real?
That's another thing.
We could be getting fucked with. Holy shit, look at that one.
This is something I wanted to talk to you about. How do we know what it's like? How do you know what the fuck is true anymore?
It's almost impossible to know.
Because everybody's mastered the half truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I got a piece of the truth and then I spin it the way I want to spin it, so a certain amount of people are going to see it that way. That's how they've really. The whole I trip on this whole system right now. I don't give a fuck about Trump, Clinton, any of that. All right, fuck all of them. They're all lying crooks as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
But peep game on how they have blue states, reds. We're like Bloods and Crips here. They're 100%. Making it more like that every day. Like the hatred between this blue and red. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's like people who got along just 6 months ago are now at each other's throats.
And there used to be a thing when we were young. When the new president was elected and he became president, we all kind of sat back and said, okay, that's our president. Let's see what. Right. And I'm not saying we're not even gonna get into dude. Right. All right. We're not even. I'm talking just as a principle.
Right.
Who that's that exchange. We all sat back and said, okay, let's give the guy a shot at least. Right. And again, we're not even. I'm not even interested in getting into all
the individual in
now.
question. Right.
That doesn't exist anymore. It's like the minute this dude's president, the next fucking campaign starts, and like it's just fucking crazy. Is it as crazy as I think it is, Joe, or am I just sitting at home?
Everything is
like
as crazy
in a
as you
dad
think it
world
is.
of taking care of these babies and going on tour, and I just turn on the TV and it blows my fucking mind.
It's blowing everybody's mind, man. I mean, there's a weird line that's happening now too, and this isn't really even a criticism, but Newsweek had an article that they tweeted. And the article shows how Melina rejects Trump's hand. I mean, which
was kind of awesome. I saw it. It was kind of awesome. I understand. Slapped it away. It was cool.
It is kind of, but who knows what's going on? Maybe she gets public anxiety and she doesn't like holding hands when she walks. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to mean anything. The fact that it's a fucking story that Newsweek tweets out is strange.
I think CNN had it on, I believe.
They've got a whole article after hand swat. I mean, this is nothing. It's like they touch hands for a second. Back it up again. I'm no Trump supporter here, but look, Newsweek, I'm not. Don't get me wrong.
No,
I don't think there's anything wrong with what you're doing. I don't think there's anything wrong with putting this up. I watched it. I'm glad you put it up.
That's why they put it up, because you would watch it. It's not news, though.
I'm not criticizing.
We are all part of the biggest reality TV show ever created in the universe now.
Yeah,
and Donald Trump is the host.
Yeah, it seems
and this man is actually living out his goddamn fantasy right now. Like, we have all given this guy, and again, I don't care. I'm not even going to say hate, love, whatever. Fuck them all.
It's fascinating.
But this dude is like king of the fucking universe in his mind right now. There's nobody can fucking touch him, and that's why the show is going to get so hilarious. It's just going to be great.
Well, I think he's not that stupid. Like, he's aware that there's been a lot of criticism, and he's trying to iron things out. But what he's doing is he's taking this approach that he's become this real estate magnate, this, big tycoon, big businessman, which is like, he was always this rambunctious, sort of flamboyant personality, right? He always put his name in gold letters on these buildings, and we didn't mind that when he wasn't running the country. Just when you run the country and you start doing the same stuff, like the criticism that he's getting is you can't kind of do the same thing when you're the president. You can't talk about how shows are number one because you watch them. Thing. It's a bigger than yourself thing. You just nailed it.
In fact, you have to let go of self to a certain degree. You know what I mean? To be a good one. And I'm not going to say one guy's been better than the other. We all know, we have our opinions on that shit. You know what I mean? And honestly, I grew up in an age where politics and religion, where if it was going to be bad news, you didn't bring it up with people you liked. You know what I mean? And now it's just the hatred I see, even from people I respect.
The red and blue hatred.
Yeah, they crippin' in blood now here hard, man. Hard for their parties, and it's stupid because none of them care about you. None of them want anything from you but more of your tax money, no matter how much they're going to tell you they're going to cut your taxes. You know what I mean? If they're going to find a way to fucking get that money, they might make it look good to you, but hey, guess what? Middle class family, $36,000 a year, whatever. Here's $2,000 you don't have to pay in taxes a year, which seems a lot when you're in that level of living. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I blow that on fucking sneakers, I'm ashamed to say. You know what I mean? But the point is, they don't give a fuck because they just stole it out the back end of your health care, or they just took it off the top of not rebuilding all the roads. This is their game. They run the game. Until these motherfuckers come up with some shit where money comes out of the politics, I don't respect any of it.
I would like to think that some of them have your best interests in mind, that there's just a crazy competitive system, and that we maybe it's just like what the system makes. Like the system kind of makes corruption because of lobbyists, because of the way it's set up. It's almost like you can't pull it out of it.
I totally agree with you that there's plenty of good ones.
Yeah.
But it's just like cops. I know a lot of cops,
right,
and they're all good guys.
I think there's more good cops
when the
than there is
shitstorms
politicians.
pop up, but when the shitstorms pop up, they don't buck out and say, you know what, that was wrong, and go against what the group of cops or politicians is saying. Either one. I could be either one. They side even in wrong times when they shouldn't. Where are those voices? I want to hear them.
Don't you think there's way more good
That's
cops?
That's where you get respect. Yes,
I
do.
Politicians.
I do. But my point is, there's a code.
Oh, yeah.
There's a code.
I know what you're saying.
And that good cop will fucking not shit on a bad cop. Maybe he won't back him, but there's a time when you got to shit on that thing or that person or that act. And there's this code in politicians and in cops where they don't call out the bullshit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's where I lose all the respect for everything. It's like, and I just sit back. I'm on some Carlin shit, man. I got a front row seat to the freak show. I'm going to watch it go down.
You're asking them to do the impossible job. You're asking them to be around violence and lying and danger, and they're the enemy. You're asking them to be the professional enemy to professional criminals. That's what you're asking them to do all the time. And so, there's a reason why they bond together like that, because they're all in the war together, and it's us and them, and it's we on the outside. I don't think we understand what the fuck they go through. That's why they have this bond with each other. It's
no doubt.
You would want that. You really would want that.
But there comes a time.
You're right.
And there's been a few of them lately in recent history.
Oh, yeah.
Where there should have been an overwhelming condemnation by a group of a smaller group of that group's actions.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Perfect example is that Eric Gardner case in New York, where they choked that guy who was just selling cigarettes. They didn't have to do that. There was no reason to do that. That guy didn't even have any cigarettes on him. The whole thing was fucked up. They were saying he wasn't complying. Why should he comply? He wasn't doing anything. You can't.
And when you watch the video, was he not complying enough to die? You know what I mean?
Well, I think the dude had an asthma attack or something, but obviously
I think
it was
they also
provoked.
Had a fucking bar.
They did. They had a choke. It was a weak-ass choke, though. It was more honestly, it was a chokehold, but it was more the way he was applying it was like a restraining thing more than it was. I want to see it. Let me see it again. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. But without a doubt, the forearm was under the neck. If I was calling it in a fight, I would say this guy's getting choked.
Right. Well, honestly, let's not even go down that road. But the point of this conversation, I believe, was just saying that overwhelming larger number of good folks, whether it's cops, politicians, soldiers, whatever.
Right.
I do believe that exists, that the majority of them are decent, good people.
Yeah.
But when the shit hits the fan, they don't collectively say that's wrong and that's fucked up. No, they all band together and say like, all right, we'll try and bury this and hide it or just deny it kind of thing. And that as a group loses you respect when people are, that are interested in justice and interested in fair play and interested in that, see these things happen. They lose faith. Yeah. And I think there's no faith in anything right now. The way I see the division in this country, all that, there's no faith in anything.
I'm hoping it's just a wave and it's going to come back.
It will.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking, that we're going to react to.
I just hope it doesn't come back in really fucked up ways, because sometimes when that wave crashes, it breaks shit.
Yeah, it does. What I mean? Well, it shouldn't. The problem is it's so easy to think that we're against each other. It's so easy to dig your heels in and argue one side or argue the other or pick a team and be totally committed to it. Whether it's red, blue, or whether it's black, white, people get on these goddamn teams. We do it, men and women. You see it, it gets real divisive online with people separating men and women, like criticizing men, all men in general, criticizing women, all women in general.
Absolutely.
It's the same shit. It exists whether it's Democrat versus Republican. It's the same shit. Vegans versus carnivores. It's the same shit. People pick a fucking team and they fight for it. And they think they're right. And they have many, many good reasons for thinking they're right. But I think all of us are way better off if we're taught about these team ideas early and recognize when you see them in yourself and do some like self-governing and avoid those. And we'll find common ground on a lot more shit than we think.
It's pretty much, we can sum that up, but like, think for yourself.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
Especially when you're bombarded the way we are now. That's another thing about how we started this conversation, is how do you know what the fuck is really true? If you really want to know what the fuck is true, or at least get a good semblance of it, you have to look at more than one fucking thing. If you read some story on Facebook that outrages you and fucking makes you so pissed off, maybe it was intended to do that. Maybe you should go look further. Look down the road. Look at a paper you would never look at. Look at it. I like to look when I get interested in the news, which isn't as much as it used to be because I have my own things, which I'm sure we'll get into. I try to be like, all right, I see CNN is on at my studio a lot without the sound, because we'll be making music and whatnot. And mostly I just read the ticker, because if you know nowadays, news is on the ticker. Opinions are what are coming out the fucking speakers when the personalities are talking. News is just the facts that scroll along down on the bottom. And, there's some spin on it and whatnot. But I try not to listen to the talking heads, because Fox has two pro-Democrat guys that no matter what the Democrats do, they're going to defend it. And CNN has a couple of Trump guys that no matter what goes on. It's a game. Have their players. It's a game. You know what I mean? It's all a game. It's a television show. I was watching it not too long ago when CNN came on after a commercial and the studio was lit up red and Korean stars were everywhere and there was nuclear missile launches, like pictures in the background. and I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? Did they just launch missiles? And nothing like it had happened. They were just discussing the possibility of the future of if they got a missile was capable. And it's like, and people are tuned into this shit. And it's like I said, it's on in the background because God forbid that breaking news, you want to know. I mean, it's reality TV, honestly.
And again, it's what we're talking about, people acting as groups.
And I ain't acting above it either.
Those groups.
I watch it. I see
do
it.
Too.
It's entertaining to me, but my deeper self brain, whatever you want to call it, the whiskey's starting to fucking talk to me right now. So that has a conscience, my soul, evaluates why I'm being entertained by it and finds it disturbing a lot. Like, and wants to say like, hey man, we should all fucking take a step back. And I love you because the love shit. I always have had love in my life. I've been a very fortunate man, but like coming in here as grown men, and when I first started doing your podcast, you would always be preaching love, and Joe Rogan's a tough guy. He kicked the shit out of 90% of the fucking people around. He's not interested in it. He just wants to love.
Your life is better if you just have a bunch of people you care about. Really?
It started me down a path, dude, where I was like, I've explored almost every religion. You know what I mean? There is, and I don't really practice any, but I have a philosophy that's taken its own good parts from all.
Right.
And lately, I've been reading a lot of Buddhist stuff. I'm not a Buddhist at all, but like this Thich Nhat Hanh guy and a few other things I've been reading. But these things are also kind of started here because connecting with you in a weird way, it made me open my mind up to like there's a lot of things we don't think alike at all on. You know what I mean? But that doesn't fucking matter.
Well, I
know,
like talking to people that I don't necessarily agree with, but I respect.
Exactly.
That's like one of some of my favorite conversations.
That's the best kind.
Yeah.
When you can get that, and that's the point of what they're trying to keep from happening in this world. Just this whole online shit has taken us. Yeah, there's a lot of great things that have happened from this, but this social networking shit is anything but social.
We're working it out.
You know, it's anything but social.
Well, for a lot of people, it's just way too distracting.
It's a lot of wicked, evil, just venom that, like, you know, I learned from every once in a while, I'll cater and I'll let a dude know online, like, hey, motherfucker, you really don't know. That's, you know what I mean? Like, hey, whatever. You really don't know. IP addresses are easy to, you know what I mean? That kind of shit. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, when I do fuck up that rare occasion, it's a Joe Rogan fan. It's like, hey, man, take the high road, dude. Joe, ask Joe. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, oh, fuck, yeah, sure. All right, you're right. And boom, that's over. Yeah. That kind of thing, you know what I mean? This show has been like a real serious, not just a show, me and you having a little friendship. Because I've hung out with you a lot since. It's been 3 years.
We've hung out a lot, though. That's what was weird. We're trying to figure it out. We're like, why does it not feel like 3 years?
Let me explain 3 years now since I couldn't come in for a while. And I explained this to you on the phone and when we hung out a couple of times. My mother was passing from Alzheimer's. And then when she did pass, it's like I was emotionally incapable. Yeah. If I couldn't even have said those words. I would have been a blubbering idiot on your show.
I'm sure.
And you know, whatever. Some people might have been like, "Hey, that would have been great radio." You know,
fuck that.
You know, you were the one that said, "Hey, get your shit together, dude." You know what I mean? Because I wanted to come here and be able to talk about it.
I don't think I said it like that. That would be like, "Joe, get your shit together."
Yeah.
So your mom's dead.
No.
Whatever, bro.
It's us talking, you know what I mean? That's how I said it.
I know what you mean, but it would be more like,
you know, because
it was
the last 4 years probably. Started probably right before I stopped. The last time I came on the show, there was like a big lawsuit over Jump Around that I actually wound up winning, but like it froze money that I depend on.
Right.
Like mailbox money, we call that. You know what I mean? That's those checks that just kind of come in. And, you know, Jump Around's been really good to me.
Dude, Jump Around is one of my favorite hip hop songs.
It's 25th anniversary this year, the whole first album. So, but point being, so
I
that
got a little weirded
up.
out when I first started hanging out with you because I was such a fan of that song. I was like, I can't believe I know this dude.
I remember you were weirded out when I lit a joint in the club in Vegas. And you were like, what are you doing? I was like, what do you mean, what am I doing? I'm lighting a joint.
No, let me explain how it went down. Everlast goes, he goes, you want to get high? I go, fuck yeah. And I go, where you want to go? He goes, go. he goes, yo, we ain't going nowhere. He just lights the joint up. But he looks at me like sideways, like, go. Sparks it right in the club. And I was like, oh, this is hilarious.
Yeah,
that was that night. Wasn't that same night that you performed on stage and there was a bunch of musicians that had never worked together on stage? Dave Navarro was there.
No, that was, they had Camp Freddy. They had like a band where they just did a bunch of covers and I remember being fucked up and they were weren't they calling me a bunch of times though? But they were like, Everlast is in the house, right? And like 3 or 4 times before I wound up.
Did you do What It's Like?
Did What It's Like. And that's
dude, that was a fucking great night. That's us. Oh, we're barbecued.
There we go.
Oh my God, I can't see my eyes.
That's exactly the spot we were smoking the joint in too, right?
That's exactly where it was, man. I just never remember you looking at me sideways and going, go.
Where the fuck up? Go. What? I'm gonna hide in the bathroom and smoke a joint? Man, get the fuck out of here. I took way too good for that bullshit.
That's hilarious.
Especially in Vegas. Like if any place in the world you're gonna be an outlandish tipper, be there because you'll get away with murder. Almost literally.
And that
the valets will say like, all right, yo, the cops are on their way. You better get the fuck out of here.
I'm sure they want to keep them checks coming. Cops are coming whether you like it or not. Imagine being a cop in Vegas. Jesus Christ.
Regardless,
how many people they have down there robbing casinos and shit, and crazy movie style heists,
meth heads
with masks on and machine guns and shit, taking over casinos.
But I was talking about I was like, so my money got froze, so I was having to bust my ass crazy hard, like on the road trying to make up the difference for a while, and then my mother started going way downhill kind of fast over 2 years. You know, it's like dealing with that. That is, anybody going through that is you know, gets, I mean, there's a lot of things that go on in my life that get my heart sent out to those people. But watching somebody you love just disappear. It was tough, man.
Yeah,
that was
perspective, right? It changes your perspective. You realize that this is how it ends.
I had a lot of guilt involved because with a kid with CF, I couldn't have my mom in home with a nurse and any infections that she could. You know, she was getting lung infections all the time. So I had her in a home, a really beautiful home. They took magnificent care of my mother, but there was a lot of guilt. I was stricken for a while, like with a lot of darkness that I was swimming through, and like it just wasn't good for me to come through. And then, you know, and then after she passed, and like Layla's just been like learning. You know, I'm only just me and my wife now. She's 7 years old, and I think I'm not saying we got anything licked or cut, but like the life we have to live, we've been able to figure out
with her cystic fibrosis.
Yes, with the cystic fibrosis. Oh, because it's heavy. There's a lot of shit you got to worry about. Infections and any common cold can send her to the hospital. It's like so much pressure on a person to do that. It's my wife and I, like, you know, I won't fucking make it funny. We've been very close to the brink a few times, but we've finally gotten to a stage where it's like, nah, none of that's gonna break us. You know what I mean? We're good, and we're good in this life, and we accept where we are, and we're gonna make sure this young lady is gonna make it.
That's beautiful.
As deep and as far into this life as she can, you know. And
there's been some medical innovations too, right? Haven't there?
They're working on some stuff, man. There's a couple drugs that aren't quite for her yet, because this drug has on the DNA level of the chain. There's mutations. Layla has 2 different mutations. One's called the Delta F 508, I believe it is. You got me high and a little drunk here, but like,
sorry.
No. People who know. It's easy to find out. She has the most common. That's the most common one, like the Delta 508, and then she has this other weird kind of offshoot one. There's one. Some people have a what they call a double delta. There's a drug right now that's really working well for the people with the double delta. They're starting to experiment it on it for people with the single.
Now, does she have to be on a special diet, like a?
The only diet we just need her. She needs to. They have a problem gaining weight. Cystic fibrosis. They don't process fats properly. They have to take enzymes with everything they eat. So gaining weight's a real serious issue. Layla actually has a G tube, a feeding tube that she gets 6 protein shakes a day pumped into her stomach.
Oh wow.
My daughter very rarely is down about this. She'll have her moments, don't get me wrong, where it's like frustration and anger over her, but this is life. She's never known anything else. So it's like, at the same time, like, we post a lot about it. We made that decision. Layla has her own page. People are free to try and follow it if my wife will approve you, if you can get by the security clearance. Her thing is Layla, Laila Beauty 09. She wanted her own page because I've never posted anything without asking her.
Right.
Even when she was like barely able to understand, I tried to be like, can I post this picture? A lot of people will see it. And she would say, okay, Daddy. And now she's sharp. And about a year or so ago, she was like, I want my own Instagram page. I want to share my life, like cystic fibrosis, with people. And so she's doing that. And this is May, actually, is Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month. So we've been posting, and she happened to be in the hospital the last 10 days. She's home right now, recovering. I
sent you an article on cystic fibrosis treatment. What was that?
It was a while ago. I don't know, but my wife and I are did it involve CBDs?
I don't remember.
Because a few people have sent me things, and we're investigating some stuff on that level right now, because there are a lot of good things going along with this, because it's one of the best anti-inflammatories there are, with no side effects and all kinds of stuff. We're not using it on my daughter yet, but we're investigating like what kind of uses there are. I forget. I'm gonna have to go back through my emails or whatnot and see what you said. I remember you did send me something.
I don't remember if it was CBDs or stem cells or some shit, but I just
all
saw
levels right now.
fibrosis.
There are a lot of levels they're working on the stem cell level. There's a lot of things going on where it's like, if they can correct things on a cellular level at some point, it's going to be.
Yeah.
There's never going to be a cure. It's a genetic disease. So you can't say cure in that sense. You know what I mean? Like, the way it works is the two people that father the child have to each have the gene. All right. So me and my wife are known as what are known as carriers, which we never knew, because we searched our whole history after we found out. Nobody in my family's ever had this. Nobody in her family's ever had this. But we're known as what's carriers. So when we got together and we had a child, there's a 1 in 4 chance that child's going to have cystic fibrosis. There's a 2 in 4 chance they're going to be a carrier.
Oh, wow.
There's a 1 in 4 chance They have nothing at all, which is our other daughter, Sadie. So we kind of represent the whole spectrum, like our family, Layla, her mom, me, and Sadie. Which is another reason, like, I'm not having 6 kids, because I love being a dad. But it's like 2 cystic fibrosis children in the same household is even, and a lot of people do it. It's hard because they pass infections, and I can't even imagine how the people with multiple 2 or 3 kids with cystic fibrosis pull it off. My hats off, because I know what it's like with just one.
That's gotta be not just it must be changing you as a person. Like, think about like how much more compassionate this has made you, and how much more appreciative of health.
I've had to also accept and learn how to deal with a lot of anger.
Yeah,
a lot of anger. Like, I consider myself a pretty spiritual person. Like I said, I've explored a lot of religions. I find religions confining. I believe in a greater power, a greater higher, whatever, something bigger than us. I kind of believe in that. Whether you want to call it God or just our connected collective energy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever it might be, somewhere in between there lies something greater than us. I felt for another reason the last 3 years is what's the captain's name in Forrest Gump? Captain Ed Captain. What was the captain's name? Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan. For the last couple years, I'm Lieutenant Dan on the top of that fucking sailboat. Like, fuck you. This is what you're gonna do to this little kid. Watching my child suffer. And there's huge injustices in the world. And let me tell you another thing. Having to take my daughter to children's hospitals all the time, I see people that have it worse.
Do you know Penn Jillette? Do you know Penn?
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan. I don't know him personally, but I'm a huge fan.
He's a great dude. But one of the things he said to me that I'll never forget, he was talking about The Secret. Do you remember when The Secret was this big movie?
It was about
the law of attraction, and people were going to manifest their own destiny, and they were going to make it happen, and everything in your life you created in your mind. And he was like, fuck you. You're telling a young, sick kid that she made that herself? She made herself have leukemia. Mm-hmm. She made herself have cancer. You're telling me that? Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
And when he said that, I was like, wow, I never thought about it that way. But he's totally right. That's exactly what it is. Like, you can't, that's ridiculous. You're dealing with a bunch of people that have become successful and told you why, because I saw it happening. What about the people that saw it happen and it didn't happen?
Exactly.
Like, this is bullshit.
Which are a far greater number, by the way.
Yeah, it's a part of life. It's not the whole key to manufacturing a life. It's an excellent, like, being a positive person, being healthy, having a good vision and focus. All those things are like contributing factors. But kids that are sick are the monkey wrench in any idea that we've created our own reality. You can't make a baby responsible for cancer. That's crazy.
You also can't make a God responsible for, like, God has a plan. You know what? Sometimes there's not a fucking plan. Sometimes there's a glitch in the goddamn matrix, and you just got to deal with it. You got to handle it. And the more important thing for me, the second most important thing in my life, other than keeping Layla as healthy as possible, is making sure she knows that she can still achieve and all that she can. She's at an age now where, like, she kind of, and I'm not trying to have her hate me in 10 years if she ever hears this, like, for giving up her business, but, like, she's in a stage right now where she's very resentful of. She expresses it well. She'll say, I hate this. I hate that I have this. I just want to be normal. I just want to have a normal life, and it fucking rips your heart out, man. But you can't. You have to say, hey. You are normal. This is your life. Your life is normal. It's like Carlin. I'm a big Carlin guy. I know you're a studied student of it, but it's like he had his routine where it's like about being homemade or all natural. He's like, everything's fucking all natural. Right. You know what I mean? No matter what you do with it, it's all fucking natural. And that's kind of how I try to approach it with her. It's like, you are normal. This is your normal life. You know what I mean? You're not any better or worse, or, you know what I mean? You have to, there's fights people fight that you don't even see, Layla. You know what I mean? That you don't understand. Yours is obvious. Yours is right here in front of you to fight. Some people are going to fight demons they'll never meet.
Yeah, there's a phrase on that. What is it? Comparison is the enemy of happiness.
Thank you. I'm fucking going to use that, Joe.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's
I know. I'm going to look it up, and I'm going to find out where it comes from.
Yeah, find out whose quote that was. Comparison is the enemy of happiness.
I really like that. That's a very useful.
Inspiration
sentence.
You should get inspiration from other people, but comparison is not really healthy. Who is it?
Says Theodore Roosevelt said, "Comparison is the thief of joy."
Oh,
there you go.
Perfect.
That's
so
even
somebody
more
paraphrased
eloquent.
it. Probably me. I probably fucked it up, but that's even better.
Yeah.
God damn, Theodore Roosevelt, you bad motherfucker.
He was a badass motherfucker,
Bad
man.
motherfucker, writing with a
Charging
feather.
up the hill in San Juan, all that shit, man. Right?
Comparison.
Talking
is
about the
thief
first
of
Roosevelt,
joy.
Theodore. The other one
Yeah.
was.
Well, this is the guy that made he set aside the national park system. He set aside, like, Theodore Roosevelt is the reason why we have the Grand Canyon.
Which our current guy is trying
the
to
Grand
fucking
Yeah.
dismantle.
Not the Grand Canyon.
I know Cam can't be
Yellowstone.
happy about that shit.
No, everybody's upset about it. It's well.
Shout out
what
to
he's trying
Cam.
to do,
What up,
Haynes,
Cam?
He's in Alberta right now.
I know. I see him giving you a hard time, Cam, and he's so nice.
Oh, he's the nicest guy
He's
ever.
nice. People threaten him. He just, hey, look, this guy's threatening me. Would I threaten you? I wouldn't threaten you, and I could probably kill you.
Well, the whole
But I wouldn't eat you. That's why I won't kill you.
it's a lot of people in other countries, man. A lot of people that get mad about his hunting pictures. They're from some other country. A lot of them are from South America. Like
Cam, you're
going to
be a god when the electricity all goes out. They're going to be coming to you, man. They're going to be coming to you.
He'll be happy as fuck.
And I need a recommendation on a beginner bow.
I can hook you up.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I forgot. Joe's a bowman now.
Dude, I'll get Hoyt to send you one. You really want to learn?
Yes.
That'd be the shit.
I do.
All right. Well, next time I'm hanging out with John Dudley, I'll have him come and coach you, and we'll make a little video.
Let me know. Maybe I can attend. Maybe I can jump in.
No, well, I want him to coach you and teach you how to shoot.
That's amazing.
That would be perfect. We'll do it. We'll make that happen.
Yeah, so that's 3 years, kind of a lot. If condensed Reader's Digest version, as I emotionally was unprepared to be here and hang out and have fun. I would have been the like episode that everybody's like, oh, you got to hear this heart wrenching fucking. Oh my god.
Well, it's heart wrenching
You know what I
now,
mean?
man.
You know what I
But I'm glad she's doing better.
No, but
And
it's
I'm-
heart wrenching. But I can stand here like a man and be
Right.
like, look, I've been through it.
Right.
You know, you didn't want to see me, and it's like you didn't want to see me cowering in the foxhole. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now the battle's over. It's like, yeah, I cowered in the foxhole for a little while, but then we got out and we won the battle. Or you know what I mean?
Right.
That's where I wanted to be before I came.
I understand.
And I didn't have anything, and I know I didn't need anything to promote, but all of a sudden it's like I did this free project, and I was like, I really just put it out, and my fans have found it, but the response has been so good behind it. It's like, I want to get this out there a little further. So it gave me an excuse to be like, I think it's time for me to be on the podcast again.
And if you want to buy a CD, they still make CDs.
No, we don't. You don't.
We're
You
giving
can
them
buy
away?
these maybe at our shows. All right, because if we bring them there, and we charge basically what they cost us to make them and ship them wherever we got to take them.
And try reading that shit.
Yeah, you can't read it. That's the
Good
point.
luck.
It's fucking gangster calligraphy. Shout
He
out
was
to Big
explaining.
Sleeps. Shout out to Big Sleeps,
Whenever
who was
you
one
can
of the
say,
finest.
shout out to Big Sleeps, you win.
Yeah, there you go. Shout out to Big Sleeps for the calligraphy. That's gangster stuff. If you can't read it, you weren't built to read it. That's all it means.
I get it now that you've explained it. I can read it now.
It's like just picture like old school, old English calligraphy, and then mixed with gangster letters. Dude.
Yeah.
And you can see
I
it
struggle with the RN.
because it comes back up. Like it comes down and then it bang bang. That's his artistic. That's art, man.
I understand.
Let me explain
I think
this
he might have
project.
made up a letter.
Let me no.
That end seems to me like a made up letter. That's some Gaelic shit.
It's just old school. That end is actually pretty old school English. Old English.
Do you know what that is, Jamie? Does that look like an N to you?
Yeah, it's right
At the end,
It looks
yes.
cool. That looks like an N to you?
Yeah, I got
Where do you see the N?
at the line.
The N here.
Wait a
Now you
minute,
got
that's
a
not
big-
the R?
Here's the N.
But where's the fucking
Here's
R?
the N. The R is this.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous. That's the R. That's
R.
the
Look,
N.
Here's your loop.
Oh.
Here's this, and then
Okay.
it just comes down. All right.
All right,
All
listen.
right. Here's your P. Your P is the R without the arm down.
Listen, it all looks
Bang,
beautiful.
boom.
Don't get
It's
me
all right.
wrong.
First of all, I don't give
I'm
a
not
flying
saying-
fuck. First of all, if you can't read it, that's why it's art. All right.
Oh, okay.
And it's gangster shit.
I wish I
Every
was an
gangster
artist.
kid, if you go to Pico Union, those guys will read that shit like it ain't. It's easy. They'll be like, oh yeah, that says war porn.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But the point is, all right, I was struggling to make my next singer-songwriter-ish hip-hop kind of, I was kind of revisiting the Whitey Ford formula a little bit and expanding on it, but I got kind of stuck halfway through because I was just, after all of this stuff that I went through, I thought it would be smart to just, I kind of, another thing about cystic fibrosis, it's really isolating because you get really protective of your child and other people who are
Right.
sick. I mean, I remember at first I used to come and be like, everybody's going to be all right at the studio, right? Nobody's sick. I mean, you know what I mean? I trust you now. I know it's like, If you were sick, you'd tell me. But you still,
I understand what you're
you
saying.
live that life, and
You gotta be
after a while,
careful
you get
shaking a
tired
lot
of
of
asking
hands.
your friends every 5 seconds, and so the invitations to hang out become a little less. It's not an intentional thing. It's this slow kind of isolation of yourself. My friends didn't do it to me. I did it to myself.
Right.
And I'm coming out of that now. Like, I'm hanging out with a lot of my old friends and seeing things, which is great. But so, like, I was stuck in the studio. It was just me and, like, an engineer kid who I had a guy that worked for me for many years who moved up north. And then I had this new guy who was good at his job, but it was like there was no.
But you're kind of your own boss, right? So how do you decide when you're going to go into the studio? How do you decide when you're going to write? You just
Well, because I don't know how you think about life, because we don't live by the paycheck rules. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking 6 months out. I know I'm good probably right now. I could sit on my ass for a year before cash ran out.
Right.
Let alone other stuff. So, but I'm always thinking 6 months. All right. Like, if I creating something now that's going to generate, like, you're writing your next stuff for whatever your next special is going to be, you know, what do you get out? 1 of those, 2 of those a year? Like a solid hour? I mean,
when I boil it down, after 2 years, it's like a real good hour and 10 minutes usually.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. So you're thinking on kind of that time level. You're like, I'm working this out to get to this point.
That's what my schedule is now.
I've
Every
always,
2 years.
you know, anybody who follows my career, whether it was House of Pain or Everlast, it's like I've never been this. Like, some cats are like clockwork with their product. They every year and a half, there's an album. Bang, boom, boom.
Right.
Me, I've had 2-year intervals, 3-year intervals, 4-year intervals. Never a 1-year interval. I'm never that guy. I have to be inspired. But I know if I'm not creating something at some time, the show money, which is what I live off of now, basically, besides the mailbox stuff, gets smaller. As long as if you can always just you don't even have to have a hit at my stage of career. You know what I mean? I don't need hits. I just need new material where it's like I got something to promote that gives a promoter in Europe. I do a lot of work in Europe. I do more work in Europe than I do here.
Do you
know what I mean?
really?
Yeah, way more. I'm about to
Way
be 6
more.
weeks in Europe.
Wow.
And I got to leave literally day after tomorrow.
Whew, that's a long time.
First, I go to Napa, actually. I got a festival in Napa, and then I come home for a day, and then I go to Europe for 6 weeks.
Napa's a trip.
And I mean, I do well in pockets in the United States, and there's a lot of places like the South. I think I would do great, but I've never gone. And like, promoters I don't know what it is. I don't chase it. Here's the point. You know what? I hope I'm not all over this. I've never chased this. I've never ran it down. I'm where I am because I just looked at the signs on the road and said, "Oh, go that way." And I go there. I'm not the guy who thinks I'm the worst social media. Look, I got 40,000 fucking Instagram followers. You know, I've sold millions and millions of records. I don't try. I don't want to. I don't know what it is. I get extreme amounts of joy. I think we talked about this on the first podcast I ever did, that my music is more famous than my face. Like that, I think, because I did say, like, I like to go to Ralph's and get at the Olive Bar and just fucking get olives, and nobody knows who the fuck I am, and Jump Around's actually playing in the supermarket or something. You know,
Right.
It's fucking hilarious to me.
Well,
I
I
love
always
that.
said that Steve Miller was like one of the greatest rock stars of all time because nobody knows what the fuck he looks like. Take the money and run. This is a story about Billy Joe and Bobby Sue. What does that guy look like? Any idea?
Because I'm a smoker.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah,
a
Midnight
joker.
Cowboy?
I'm a
Come on.
midnight toker.
Yeah, the Joker. Jungle Love, that was another great jam. Damn, he had some great jams.
So I'm sitting in the studio by myself, stuck. A friend of mine asked me to do a feature on his rap record, which I really wasn't. You know, I mean, I don't do a lot of that anymore.
How long had it been since you had done it?
Well, I mean, the first La Coca Nostra album, I was part of the whole album.
That was a few years back, right?
That was 08.
08.
08. And I've done a rap here, a rap there for
So
friends.
that's a long time to go between that and War Porn.
Yeah.
Your new project, War Porn, when did you guys start that?
What happened, I'm getting to it, is this cat asked me to, I'll even shout him out, this dude, Ryu.
Plenty of shout-outs on this show. Jamie, maybe a record number?
Like the fighter from Street Fighter, you know what I mean? Ryu. He has an album out, and I did a song on there, and it came out amazing. I was so, in love with what I did, like, after all these years, like, wow, I busted a fucking really dope rhyme on that thing. That him and I was like, yo, we should do a little mixtape thing just to help promote this, whatever. Something happened, he just couldn't be involved, and then I immediately thought of my friend and partner now, this guy Sick Jackin, from a group called Psycho Realm. Bunch
Two
of Latin dudes.
excellent names.
Yeah.
Sick Jaggin and Psycho
Yeah,
Realm.
he's gonna come next time. I called him like today, and I was like, "Yo, I tell you, Space, if you want to come do this." There he is, the bald guy right there. And then Divine Styler did all the beats, and he rhymes on the project. But the way it came back was like when dude couldn't do it, Divine already was making the beats. I called Sick Jack. I was like, "Yo, I got this project." He came, heard all the beats, and we literally made this record in like a week.
Wow.
And Divine Styler, a short background. I would not be in this business. I would not be making music if it wasn't for that man. He's the first guy that ever told me I could rap. I used to want to be a graffiti artist. He was an amazing graffiti artist, and I was just following him around as like a 16-year-old, trying to learn like styles and shit. And I would bust raps because they were making music to like make fun of shit, like your mom or this or that. And they would always be like, "Yo, you could rap. You should like make a tape."
When you do graffiti art,
yeah,
does it get you high?
No, not really. I mean, not in the sense. I mean, maybe after a while you might feel a little different, but like you wear masks and shit. And
do they wear masks?
Well, now they wear real ones. We used to just tie bandanas and.
Oh, okay. Because I would imagine if you're standing there, like some of those, I passed
you're
by
not
some
really
of those in
enclosed.
downtown LA.
You're not in. If you were like in a room like this and tried to paint that whole wall
Right,
just
you
with
get
no
fucked
ventilation, you probably would. But this is mostly outdoor, on the wall, on the bus. In LA, the scene was. Like down, we had a yard. Every crew, you'd have a yard somewhere, like in an industrial area between buildings where there's like a brick wall and two buildings, and you just bomb. It would be called your yard,
right?
You know what I mean? This crew's yard or that crew yard,
and you'd
like sneak into other crews' yards, and you'd like bomb over their pieces.
And that's not good, right?
It's like it's a game almost, kind of. Except it's a little more. Yes, if they caught you for sure,
that's not good.
Kick your ass and steal your paint.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You know who David Cho is? You know David?
I love David Cho, man.
David's got these crazy fucking videos he's putting up on Instagram now. It's him throwing paint all over the place.
The floor, yeah.
Paint fumes. He's high on paint fumes. Someone save him. He's going crazy.
Like he's in like some industrial building just...
I love that dude.
Taking a trailer, like running it around like...
He's so far out there, there's no map. No one's got a fucking map of David Cho land.
I mean, that dude...
Look at him.
Yeah, here he is, right here.
He's got a cart, and he's just pouring paint on the ground.
But
he's a savage.
He's also super smart.
He's a great dude, too.
This is on purpose. There's purpose to what he does, man. I believe that.
No, David, he's a sweet, sweet guy. Like, I really like him as a person.
I don't know if he still does it. I did his podcast. I think I did his podcast because he heard me on yours. And he was like, "Come and please bring a guitar." And,
he does them now and banks them.
I take very serious pride in the fact I'm the first guy to ever do music on this thing. I think is Honey the only other people that have really done music?
Yeah, Gary Clark Jr. brought his guitar but never played anything.
I'm a huge fan, dude. I love that guy.
He's the best. He's such a nice guy too, man.
Oh
that
man,
guy is
I
such a
fucking
sweetheart.
love that dude's music, man. I'm really a big fan of that dude.
I'm a big fan of him as a person and as a musician. And I went to see Honey played in downtown LA. They had like this midnight show on a Wednesday night. And Gary Clark joined him on stage. And Gary Clark Jr. and Honey, god damn, it was good. And I was like, 10 feet away, and there was 100 people in the room. And it was Gary Clark Jr. just jamming with Honey. And he's one of the baddest motherfuckers on the guitar ever. He has a beautiful sound. Like, he's got such a distinct... Oh, here it is. Jamie's got it on. I put it on my Instagram.
I think I remember this.
Like, you hear this, and you know it's him.
Is there a bass player, or am I just not seeing him? Or
well, the bass player is the dude in front of us. That's Ben.
He's just playing another rhythm guitar.
Is he playing another guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a guitar. It's not a bass.
He didn't pick up a bass? Oh.
Well, somebody's putting down some nice low end. He must
That's
have
probably
that
Gary.
EQ'd somebody has an EQ. It's not. It sounded good. That's all I was making a point of.
Yeah, man. God damn.
I don't have a bass
dude.
player. My keyboard player, Brian, who comes through here, he's got the meanest fucking left hand on the keys. Like he plays all his keys with the right, and the bass is left.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
We're a trio now. Like me and when I do my band stuff, it's just me and two other guys, drummer and him,
That's amazing.
and we sound like 6 guys. It's crazy.
Gary Clark's got his own sound. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear his sound. Like Stevie Ray Vaughan is a perfect example of that. Like I hear some Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I'll hear like 1 or 2 bars, and I go, "That's Stevie Ray Vaughan." Like, he's got that sound. You know, there's like a certain
Billy Gibbons.
slide. Yeah,
Billy
yes,
Gibbons.
Yes,
He came in and played on
sure.
an album of mine on a couple of songs, Love, War, and the Ghost of Whitey Ford. And he came in with this little crate amp head, which Crate is not a fancy company. It's like a cheaper, not cheaper, I won't insult them, but like it wasn't like super high. It was like some regular fucking head and this one pedal and the sound. I was like, how the fuck did you get? And it's just something. Some guys have a magic, man. Some guys have a magic about the sound. Me, I play acoustic. That's what I'm best at. I know how to make that sound good. I have electric guitars, but I can never get I could have that same fucking guitar as Gary Clark Jr. right there, and the same equipment, and set it the same way, and it probably won't sound the same.
Yeah,
it'll sound in the neighborhood, but I'm saying there's some people that just got a inherent magic about feel on an instrument. You know what I mean? It's
that's
crazy.
What's amazing about someone who can play an instrument like that is that they're making some sound that it syncs up with our brain so well. It syncs up with our hearing so well that it just gives you pleasure. You know? And by the way, folks, that's with an iPhone microphone and camera. I mean, that is a terrible recording device as far as like getting good audio quality. So when you're there
they're
live,
getting really fucking good. There's more computing power on here than there was when they supposedly sent people to the moon. You know what I mean?
To the moon, Alice.
Supposedly.
Do you think they sent people on the moon?
You know what? That's one of them things. How do you know the fucking truth? But I'll tell you one fucking thing for sure. The earth is not flat. Fuck you.
See, that's where it gets tricky, right? How do we know? How do we
Dude,
know?
look at the moon.
These scientists could all
Just
be
look
in
at the moon.
cahoots.
Look at the moon.
That's round, but wouldn't be interesting if
So
we
what
were
is
the
it?
only one that wasn't, and that was the argument. And that was why everybody was trying to. Hey, I'm just trying to see both sides.
Okay, all right.
Just asking questions.
I'm cool
over
with it.
here.
I'm cool with it. Hey, it makes for fun arguments. But
The moon landing
at
is
the
my
end of
favorite.
the day,
Next to Bigfoot,
moon
the
landing
is my favorite.
is suspect to me. Let me say that. There's a lot of things I see on TV. They're suspect. Hey, I saw a movie maybe 15 years ago called Wag the Dog that fucked everything up for me. Like when I see the news, I see Wag the Dog all
Great
day
movie.
long.
That was a great movie. Yeah. And then, do you remember when the CIA? It came out that the CIA had paid $500,000
To make the fucking ISIS videos.
What was it? How much? How much was it? Was it $500,000? $500,000
Yeah.
to make? Might have been more than that. Am I like way selling it short? Was it like $500 million?
No, I think it was half.
How much was it?
I think it was $500,000 to make videos, but still, like to make homemade looking video, it was like $500,000. That's a lot of money.
I think it was more than that.
540.
Maybe it was $5 million.
540
Half a
million.
billion, yeah.
Half a billion.
fucking-
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah,
What?
when I said 500,000, I was like, no, that sounds cheap.
Yeah, half a billion.
Half a billion. Yeah. And so what they First
go.
of all, stop and think about how many X-Men movies you can make for $500 million. I mean, what kind of a shit return on your investment is it
PR
making
firm.
fake Al-Qaeda videos?
Know what that is? Know what that is right there?
What?
That's two motherfuckers. The guy who owns that firm is the buddy of somebody else.
Yep.
That's the
100%.
thing I was talking about earlier, where they figure out how to get the fucking money anyways.
That's it.
That's it. That's the
it.
kind of shit I'm talking about.
Well, that is about as clear as example as you can get, where it's 540
That's as clear as
billion.
back when, remember, what was it, 20 years ago when they came out with the whole thing where like Pentagon was paying like $1,000 a hammer,
Yeah.
and like toilet
Right.
seats were like $7,000. You know, it was like
Right,
anything.
I remember that. $540 million is a crazy number, too. That's like, wait, what the fuck? Jesus.
What were we
That's a
talking
lot
about?
of money, man.
Oh, war porn.
hammers, war porn.
So like I said, Divine he's my mentor. He's like back in the day before. It used to be if somebody was like, if you were the son of somebody, that was like your mentor. Like now it's kind of almost like they treat it like an insult. If I was Divine, I'm the son of Divine Styler in this game. That's how I look at it. I learned style from him. I learned how to rap from him.
Oh.
He encouraged me to do it at first. And then I went on my own journey So coming back to do this project with him was fun. This was strictly just in my mind an art project. Like literally, we're gonna give this away. We're just gonna make a few CDs and make some fun art to surround it, and it'll call it a day. And then it came out amazing, and I'm not selling myself short. The shit is fucking banging hip hop, and it's free, and you can get it at warpornindustries.com and click on the mixtape and download it. It's free.
Well, I've been enjoying the videos, man. It looks like
Let's play a video while we're here, man. We're gonna play a video. We got 3 of them so far.
Having a good time too.
It's been the most fun I've had in forever. It's the point of like I said, I was stuck in this rut, and then these guys came into my studio and brought it alive again, and I realized it's communal.
Yeah,
what I do.
Tribal.
Even when I'm trying to just express my own thought and idea, it's communal. You need some people around you that are I'm sure guys like Joey Diaz are this for you.
Oh yeah.
When you have an idea for a routine or a joke, you'll be like, what do you think? Should I pursue that? There's a guy that you'll turn to and he'll be like, fuck yeah. That's the move, or fuck no, don't do that.
It's better when there's a lot of you. You feed off each other. You have fun. And you also, it's very important to be happy for other people. Like seeing other people kick ass should make you feel better. And being around bad motherfuckers
we express
makes you
it like
better.
this in the studio when the 3 of us are. By the way, the official name of the group is War Porn Industries. War Porn is the first record.
Why war porn? What does that mean?
Because exactly.
What does it mean?
Because everything's war porn. Turn on your TV. It's war porn.
I'm reading this script. I'm even more confused. This script.
No, it's the same thing. We just separated it and made an arc out of it.
It's too confusing.
Oh, well, good. The logo is badass, though.
Listen, I'm an old man.
Tristan Eaton. Let's shout out Tristan Eaton right here.
The logo's dope. But that is just going to reaffirm ideas of devil worship and pornography.
Cool.
You people you're monsters.
Cool.
You're what's wrong.
I intend to scare you.
About as dope and manly an image as you can get. There's a skull where the pussy should be. There's thighs staring back at you on the legs.
It's a death's head moth is the overall concept.
Right. And there's fishnet stockings involved with guns.
That's the spine of the wings.
Shamrock.
Yeah, Tristan Eaton, he's a fucking badass, dude.
Army stuff. It's dope as fuck.
Gatling guns.
I would wear that. I would consider getting that
Shamrocks.
tattooed. I would tattoo that somewhere, like on my calf.
It might be my back piece. It might be
Dude,
right there.
That's a good back piece. That's a strong back piece. No bullshit. But straighten out the words. I'm just kidding. Keep it as is. It's your lingo. Imagine going to Japanese people and go, hey, man, your language is fucking too weird. English. Can you use English? Use ours.
But
it's better.
So we got a few videos. What you got up right now? You got anything close to up?
Which one is this one?
We got 3 videos. So one.
Let's crank this one.
The first one was called World's End. Do we want to go in chronological order?
I'll go with that one.
We should, if it's a piece.
Sort of.
Here we go.
The world get frantic. We bomb the whole planet.
Shout out to Chad Marshall, Von Poe, shot the videos.
Shout out to Grandpa from the Great Beyond. I hope you're looking down, having a good time up there in heaven with Jesus.
This is shot at the there's an abandoned missile silo apparently at the top of DeSoto in the valley.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Divine put the needle on plates and rock vinyl. Dusty finger digging the crates and puff rhino. Whiskey breath tatted on flesh, the rough wino. Wall pouring out of your deck, it's all lino. We shit on your idol, crosshairs, finish your vitals. Eliminate all rivals, homie, this is survival. Crime wave title, dictate, poem recital. Sick psycho, homicidal, music my title. From that downtown apocalypse, rocking this with cartridges. Full clip, straight bullet, random who the target is. Bystander, my standing, the way of the starving kid. Stay hungry, that's how the kids stay killing all of this. Ominous, not common is the key to dominance. OG, only wait for me, I got some time in this. Mirror my society, the beauty and the violence is what I miss. And you hear it clearly when I'm rhyming this.
Sick Jack is one of the most slept on, underrated MCs ever.
Technical weaponry, rhyme style heavenly. Learn my pedigree, burn my effigy, spit my therapy, smoke my remedy, passive aggressively, choke my enemy, invoke my reverie, provoke my devilry, bucket list trilogy, war war-born industry. Terminate, assassinate with extreme bigotry. Heavyweight armor plate, subatomic energy. Necronomicon, triple hexagon. One level beyond, the devil's word is born. Put murder on a song and a murder in your palm. Birth rate, death toll, underwater death roll. Crocodile peering, devil loving, God fearing. Bioengineering, stem cell cloning. Relay with the bone in. International zoning. 7 samurai or die by one Ronin.
Woo! War-born industries in the building, baby. It's that old man rap.
Dude, I like it.
God hammer merciless, sonic rock turbulence. Armors on gunmetal, matte black surfaces. Squad with the virtuous, charge for the murderers. Bars for the dark hearts lost in the urban grip. Torn from the flame of the gin, do you acknowledge this? Profile of the new world is ominous. Broken equilibrium, Americana promises. War porn risen from the ash of the bottomless and watch. Dystopian, drop from the fallopian of Maya for the entire empire. Draconian, shit is Nickelodeon anime pandemonium. Quickening of arbitrary death of associates. This is war porn banging that colloquium. Get your door blown off the hinge and quote to him. Blow my brains out remotely from the podium. Great cerebellum decorations of the holiest. 7 levels of heaven are ceremonious. 9 levels of hell are for the lowliest. Fabricated, modified, mass hypnosis. Floating hallucinations while I'm sitting in a lotus.
You should come with me to the end of the world. You should come with me to the end of the world. You should come with me to the
Yeah, man, we've had a blast, man. We're gonna make many more records. Like, I'm back in the rap game now, dog, for a minute.
Dude, it's cool
You know what I mean?
seeing and hearing you rap again.
fun.
It's exciting.
It's fun.
Like, I really enjoyed your transition into like more acoustic stuff.
I'm still doing that too, but
Yeah.
this is fun. Like, this is unadulterated for me. Like, you were talking about, you need cats to push you. Our goal in the studio is like when Sick Jack comes off the mic from saying a verse, he wants me to look at him and be like, "Fuck you."
So you compete against each other.
I gotta
with
go.
it.
Oh fuck,
Dude, your lyrics are
You know what I mean?
outstanding. Your lyrics are sharp.
Both those dudes that are on either side of me in this are retarded with it, man. If you really sit back and analyze, Divine Styler like speaks in tongues, man. I don't know, that dude's on some super scientific, and Sick Jack is on some street level hood shit, but the way he puts it together is so crazy. It's almost like we're a representation of like almost like physical, like mental and spiritual. Like, mine's more mental, like...
You guys are like, see no hear evil, hear no
almost.
evil, speak no
It's
evil.
a weird
you
combo.
work together.
And when we get together, all three of us will tell you it's the energy that we create with each other.
Yeah.
We don't find it anywhere else. We're addicted to this right now. That's why I'm telling you, there's going to be way more. We're already working on the next one. So.
Well, I think that can't be overlooked, man, because I think that you get a lot out of the people that you're around all the time. And I think you're a different person when you're around different people.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you experience that, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that being around a bunch of bad motherfuckers on a regular basis like you are in war porn, like everything is probably like everybody's sharp and everybody's not. Everybody's also aware of the full body of work. You're all real hip hop fans. So you're aware of like Nas's best shit.
Oh, yeah.
And Jay-Z's best shit.
Absolutely.
And the bar gets so high and so sharp. The edge gets sharp. Yeah. So like that riff right there, that's like one of my all-time favorites that I've heard in the last couple of years.
Thank you, man.
That's great
I honestly
shit.
feel like in my opinion, and I come from a certain era. I give that to people. There's a new era of kids, and I don't shit on them or hate them. They have this whole thing hating on these kids, calling it mumble rap. And I don't really got a problem with it. My only problem is like, hey, there's certain cats that are kind of disrespecting the past. And it's like, hey, be you. Be new. Be different. That's cool. Be what you want to be. But don't fucking shit on cats like Biggie. And I'm not even going to call out names and all this.
Right.
But anybody who's listening to me and is really hip to the game knows there's these youngsters that are kind of almost trying to make noise by disrespecting. And it's like, listen, the path that was walked before you is the only reason you could fucking wear that fucking cheesy fucking shit jewelry you get and fucking act so ignorant. You know what I mean? And go to the Met Ball and Gala and all this when you ain't nobody. And next year you're not going to be anybody at the Met Gala. You know what I mean? You're just this year's fucking like novelty.
I don't know your business that much, but I understand
I'm just
what
talking
you're saying.
about the music game in general.
Right.
The music game in
shit
general
on the older dudes that have been around.
There's a lot of youngsters that are like, don't know the history. And I don't say you need to know Biggie's every album, but don't fucking come out and shit on Biggie.
You can't shit
don't
on
come out
Biggie.
and shit on Pac.
But if
don't
they
come out and act like they didn't exist or you don't know anything about them.
That's unfortunate.
You know what I mean? And they're few and far between, but they've made big headlines. And that's why there seems to be this disrespectful hate for the young.
Right.
I don't got that because, listen, I always said, like, I just don't ever want to sound like that old fucking bitter dude.
Right.
I'll tell you, I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that song or that guy, but go do what you. I might be old. Maybe I don't get what you're doing.
You know,
what I mean?
as I've gotten older, I give less of a fuck about what other people enjoy. And when I was younger, I had to, for some reason, I felt like I had to argue what I enjoy versus what you enjoy. And that doesn't make any sense to me anymore. It's like we're all so fucking different. The idea, like, you meet people and personalities vary so much. The idea that we're all going to like the same shit.
Let me
crazy.
qualify what I was just talking about, actually, because really what I was talking about wasn't young people. If I want to be perfectly clear, what I was talking about was people my age that I hear throwing a lot of hate and a lot of just like, oh, that ain't rap or that ain't hip hop or ain't. Maybe not to you, but you really just sound old and bitter. You know what I mean? Let them kids get theirs. You know what I mean? I made the record I wanted to make. I didn't try to make a record that Designer or Future or any of these cats that are doing it now would make, because that would look stupid. I would look like a thirsty idiot.
Right.
Because that's not what I do. That is what they do. To shit on it is shitting on them. And I don't know them. I don't know anything. And honestly, I've heard Future records and I've heard Designer records, and they're not the worst things I've ever heard. I'm just not a fan. I just don't, that's not my thing. It's not garbage. And I don't like when I hear people just calling shit out for garbage that isn't garbage. If it's garbage, call it garbage, like Mr. Brainwash or something like that. That's garbage. You know what I mean? You don't even know who I'm talking about.
I do know you're talking. I don't know any of these people, but I do know what you're talking about. You know, here's the beautiful thing.
I had to throw shade. That wasn't even cool. But I meant it.
It's not at all. I would tell you nothing. I don't know what the fuck's going on in the rap world, but what I do know
it wasn't
is
rap.
I
wasn't even talking about rap. He knows. He's laughing.
Tell me what you're talking about.
He's an artist. He's a painter, like fake fucking street artist who like stole everything he ever did from anybody. Did you see the Banksy movie?
Oh, Banksy.
Yeah,
the guy that fucking like faked it till he made it. Like that's who I'm talking about.
Okay.
He's garbage, dude. Like,
I
that's
understand.
garbage.
I understand.
That's garbage.
You have the right to be offended.
Is there somebody in... All right, you know what? For you, it's the equivalent of, like, Carlos Mencia.
Yeah.
That's Mr. Brainwash.
Okay.
Okay? Exact. That's a perfectly legitimate correlation. Is that the right word?
Correlation? Yeah.
Correlation.
Yeah.
Thank you. I said correlation.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
I'm talking... How many... I'm 2 glasses deep into...
Whiskey.
Jack Daniel's single barrel rye.
The real shit.
You owe me a case now, Jack Daniels.
America, fuck
Lynchburg,
yeah.
Tennessee. Send that shit right to the crib, all right?
This is where we got this.
Being y'all
Somebody
can't
sent
drink
this
it
to
there.
us.
I see the commercial. Y'all can't drink it there. Send an extra case this way to the Joe Rogan Experience.
Isn't it amazing that we're like interested in stuff that like sits in barrels that have been fire brewed? Like they take fire, they burn the inside of the barrels, right? Isn't that like part of the process of making this stuff?
A lot of the new shit too is the darker versions. Is like some people will actually get the whiskey that's soaked into the wood and somehow get that out, and that's where you get these dark versions of like Jameson caskmates and other stuff like that. And then there's a new movement, or I don't know how new it is. I'm talking out of my ass a little bit because I've had a few, but where they like buy old ale like Guinness or like beer ones and then put whiskey in those.
Really?
And like there's like where they kind of cross.
Jesus, they're crazy, these kids
Yeah,
today.
I
I just love the fact that that's how you make this. Like I'm not selling this, but like when you talk about like a whiskey.
I'm a JMO guy, but this is nice. This is nice.
Look, it's an acquired experience.
Sick
Like,
Jack
it
is a
doesn't taste
gentleman
good.
Jack guy. He loves the gentleman Jack, so I'm hip.
Kool-Aid tastes good. This is an exotic mouth experience.
Okay.
It's like there's something going on.
Ever gone to a tasting, like a Scotch tasting or something like that? where you
No,
get, like,
because I'm a
7 or
grown
8 of
man
them?
who has other things to do. Go to a Scotch tasting. Get the fuck out of here. It all tastes like fucking turpentine. Like some of it tastes okay. It's not Kool-Aid, right? It's not Gatorade.
I only like a couple. There's a lot of them I don't like.
I don't like to admit it, but I like a cold Coke 1.
Not
You
a
know,
Coke
one of
One,
those? Coke Zero? Is that what it is? I call it Coke 1. I know it's not, but sometimes that is what I want. That tastes good. If that could get you drunk.
Oh, here's a funny story. So, my wife gives me a present the other day, and it's like this keychain with this elongated, like metal tube-looking thing on it. And I open it up, and it's just empty. And she's like, I just thought, if you smoked a joint, you could put it in there, and it wouldn't stink up your car. And it was a smart idea, trust me. But I'm looking at it, and I'm like, babe, I think this is a Coke vial, actually. I think that's really the intention for this. She was like, you know what, it's funny because there were smaller ones too. And I thought, that's really small. I wonder what that could be for. Now it totally makes sense. So I got this bullet-looking thing. I put joints in it, but it's like, it's a Coke vial, dude.
You imagine what would have happened if they made Coke legal, like a long time ago? Like how much would culture change if Coke was like beer? If you could just, you could drink yourself to death. We all know someone who's drank themselves to death.
I think our obesity problem would probably be
it should be kicked. Be just John.
I'd probably be the weight I wanted to be. I might be closer to the weight I really truly want to be.
I have a theory, and my theory is that much like how you take sugar out of things and then you just have like processed sugar and you eat it, it's terrible for your body because it doesn't have all the natural fibers. It's very dangerous. Like you get fat. It's not dangerous. I'm not saying it's like nuclear power. But my theory is that I bet those coca leaves are exactly the same way. I bet if you just chew those coca leaves like those people do up in the mountains, I think it's great for you. I think it's just like eating fruit is really good for you right now. Like if you have a bowl of fresh blueberries, that's not just because it has some sugar in it. That's really good for you. Rich in antioxidants, rich in vitamins. Strawberries, delicious, good for you. Not bad for you, good for you. But like spoons of sugar, inarguably not good for you, right? Not the worst thing. You'll figure it out.
What you're talking about right there is something processed versus something that's natural.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing.
I would actually, with all my heart issues, I got a heart valve. If you sat 2 plates out and a plate of Coke and you said you had to do one of these and here's some coca leaves, I'd be like, oh fuck, I'll chew those coca leaves all day.
I want to experience that, man. I want to know what that's like because
things I've read about are like cats that work in those, because that's mountainous area. They like chew on them all day and work and do shit. It's like coffee to them in a weird way. Maybe a little.
I don't think it's stronger than coffee, man. I don't think it is. I think from everybody that describes it, they describe it as like just a mild stimulant, and it makes you feel good. And it also has like, what do they call flavonoids?
Because you're also chewing on it. It's getting your saliva. It's dissolving. You're processing it through a digestive system instead of just banging it straight to your brain in a powder form.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it's obviously I'm speaking way out of line here. I don't know
anything
about
how many coca leaves
science
does it take to make a line? That's another
question.
thing you don't know. Like that line might be 400 coca leaves.
Right. Like how many strawberries does it take to make like a tablespoon of sugar?
Exactly. That's a good analogy.
Interesting.
This whiskey's really nice. I'm feeling good.
God damn, this California marijuana is also very effective.
Yeah, I can't complain, man. I can't complain. But there's
another thing right
there.
We sparked up again.
There's the whole thing right there of this whole new, hey, I've smoked my fair share of some dabs and whatnot here. But like now we're talking about, if we're going to keep it 100% honest, we've always kind of sat around, smoked joints, and be like, we don't really do drugs.
You know what dabs are,
If you do dabs, you do drugs. That's a drug. That's weed being processed into an actual more potent, more compact form to smoke. It's drugs. It's the meth of weed.
Dabs are like face tattoos. They're like, you went too far, fucker. Which is slow down, settle down. Okay, don't turn your nose into a poodle nose.
I've had my fair share of dabs, and I would partake under the right circumstances. Boom, bap. I'll have a little dab. But what I'm saying is like,
it's too much. I'm not interested.
Good
I'm
for you.
I'm over here. I'm okay.
You're
fine.
smoking pens though. You're smoking pens though. It's dabs.
I actually don't smoke too many different ones, but I have some that are organic that I really like.
It's still a dab.
No, it's oil.
It's oil. Same fucking
THC
difference,
oil.
man.
You guys are smoking wax. And you got to smoke with people who are interested in soldering irons and fucking vacuums.
Not really. I'm more into. I'm personally a little bit more into what they call the solventless, like ice hash and shit like that. A little bit different. I mean, BHO scares me a little bit sometimes.
But
I won't lie.
there's a thing, and there's a trigger that hits me when someone says you want to do dabs. Like, oh no, because you're one of those people that does dabs. Like I'm not. I'm not doing that. No. You're the dude who calls in sick to the country club because you're too fucking high to drive. All right? No. We're not doing dabs together, man. Get your shit together. You don't have to get that high.
Don't come by
And you
the
don't have to
studio
do it
then,
this
Joe,
way.
because you're doing a dab now. If you
Listen,
come by my studio,
it's like,
I'm gonna make you do at least
do you
one
want
dab.
to drink
just to,
glasses of wine, or do you want to drink glasses of whiskey? Well, you can drink glasses of wine and enjoy it. If you drink glasses of whiskey, you'll be fucking dead. Okay? That's like dabs. You went too far into the dark land, son. You
you're
met
wrong.
the Shire.
You're wrong. You know how much weed you smoke?
The orcs.
You're wrong about that. Some people, you're right about it. You're right about it. Like the average Joe cat, like that doesn't know much.
What if you
doing
met
a dab
the
is
orcs?
right. You know how much weed you smoke? I don't get that fucked up from a dab because you know what? I've smoked a lot of weed for 20 fucking years.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? But what it will do if you smoke, what I don't want to do about that shit, from what I understand, is why I don't do a ton of it, is because you'll stop getting high from actual weed if you do too much of that shit.
Maybe that'd be good. Maybe that's what the best way to be is get high so often that you can be high and not even feel like you're high. Like maybe that's the best place to be.
No, I smoke weed to get high, though. I want to know that I'm high. It's my.
No.
It's like letting go. I don't want to like get well. Now you're talking about being a junkie.
This
like
is what I'm
you're
talking about, man.
Smoking some weed to
Relax,
not know
bro.
you're high, but be high. That's called getting well.
It's
You're
just
sick.
a plant, man. It's just a plant, man. Back off, man.
Hey, dude, if I don't get a buzz when I
Colorado,
smoke,
Texas, man.
there's no point to me smoking if I'm not getting a buzz to
That's
my
what I'm
smoke.
saying, man. What I'm saying is achieve a perpetual vibration of, let's call it elevation. Let's not call it being high. To achieve a perpetual state where it's so common and normal that you don't even feel like you're high.
How do we live? Isn't that how we live?
Pretty close.
Pretty fucking
Pretty close.
Joe.
I take days off, though. Do you take days off?
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, more than I like since in the last 7 years. Way more than I used to because of my kids.
I want to
Like,
give
but
it.
before my kids, I was perpetually high. Like I was high from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep, and I don't even look at that as a bad thing or like I like
a
smoked
thing.
weed. Yeah, I was perpetually high.
I know a lot of people that are very productive and very smart who also do that,
Now,
and they enjoy it more.
the wife and I, at the end of a long day, will go out in the backyard, and because we don't smoke anywhere near the kids because of cystic fibrosis and all that, but like we will like that, and you know what? Fuck anybody that doesn't like it. I know
Well, it's legal
parents that
now.
are alcoholics and shit. You know what I mean?
It's legal now.
We
It's no
decompress
different.
from a day of doing fucking nebulizer treatments and fucking IV and
Yeah.
shit. Yo, it works for us and it's cool. But
And
if
you
I
pay your
wasn't getting,
taxes
if I
and
was
you're a
smoking
fucking
only to
American.
get even, I wouldn't even do it anymore. Like if I didn't get a buzz, you know what I mean? It's a happy thing.
I'm
for
not
me.
saying get even. I'm saying stay elevated.
But
Stay high.
know you're elevated the entire
Well,
time.
you know, just like you know you're breathing oxygen, but do you pay attention to it on a regular basis?
Well, then
or just accept the fact
see,
that
I like
it's
the
happening.
knowing. I like the knowing. I like the conscious, actual, like, oh, I'm in a relieved state of pain right now.
Listen, you're right. I'm essentially arguing
Maybe
for something.
and I'm not
that I've
looking for
already
cookies, man. I'm
argued
not looking
against.
for cookies or anything, but maybe it's because I live in a slightly elevated level of stress than the average person.
I
want to
appreciate
know
that.
the difference. I want to feel that cushion. It's like the pillow on the bed for me.
Right.
I want to feel the pillow. I
Right.
don't want to just accept it's there. I don't want to go Buddhist like that and wash the dishes just to wash the dishes. I
Right.
want to get high to get the fuck out of here for fucking 5 minutes.
You know what I find that's one of the most beneficial things about being high is that I'm only thinking about a few things, but I'm thinking about them very intensely.
Simply and very intently, yes.
Instead of thinking about a whole host of things peripherally, where it's almost like there's too much data coming in from all these other things that I don't really care about or need. Look, you care about all sorts of things in your life that you're not going to deal with right now. And to harbor even a chunk of that in your consciousness it robs the rest of your resources for thinking about other things. And that's one of the most apparent things about pot to me. Because like here's a perfect example. When I smoke pot and then I play pool, I am 20% better. Like a legitimate 20% better. And I really think that it's because I'm not thinking about, oh, I got to do this, and then I got to call that guy, and then this guy, I got to respond to this dude's text, I got to respond to that person's email. When I get high, I just see balls. I see balls and green cloth and
Let me take that
chalk
one
and-
step further is you're also not even thinking about I got to beat this fucking guy. You're thinking about I want
that's
to
not
make the
true.
shot.
I'm a douchebag. I
No,
think
but
about
you
that
want to
all
make
the
the
time.
shot. It's more about the shot though. Like I want to make the
Yes.
shot. I want to fucking win this game because I want to make the shot. I want to do.
Yes.
I see the angle. Oh.
There's a zen to it for
Yes.
sure. There's a thing that happens with pool that happens the same way in archery. And then in archery, like when you hit a target, It's so foolish. Like, of course, it's just a hay bale with a target on it, with a little paper target that has a yellow center, and you hit the yellow center. Whoop-de-doo, nothing changed in the world. I understand that, like, rationally, as a
My dick would
person who
probably get
thinks.
hard if I did that, though. I'd be like, ah!
You could do it. But the thing about doing that is that I don't know why, but when you do something correctly, when it all flows in harmony, just like with pool, it's the same thing. When you have a long shot and it goes in, if you've ever been at a bar when you watch people play pool and some dude makes, or some woman makes the craziest shot ever for the win, and everybody goes crazy, oh shit, because we know how hard it is to do, and there's something poetic and beautiful about watching it happen.
It's that you just described why golf makes any sense at all. I live on a golf course, basically. I like to hit the balls, and fucking I suck. But what keeps you coming back is you'll play that 18-hole day, and one time
You feel it.
You'll hit the shot that you meant to hit, the way you meant to hit it, and it went where you meant to go, and you're like, I can do that again. I know I can.
That's why I don't
and
play
you're
golf.
chasing it. It's like crack. You're chasing that first fucking high forever.
I'm not disrespecting anybody who plays golf because I know I would get addicted, but I don't play golf because I know I'd get addicted.
Because you would. No,
Yeah.
your whole person, it would. Because you'd hit that one shot the first day, and you'd be like, oh, shit.
It's the same reason I don't do coke. It's the same reason I've never done coke. The exact same reason. My friend in high school, Jimmy Lawless, good buddy of mine to this day. When we were back in high school, we went to a party, and people were doing coke, and he goes, Joe, don't do it. You'd fucking love it.
It's like Dewey Cox. The movie was like, you don't want this.
And I was like, okay, Jim, I trust you, buddy. I go, I'm fucking done here. I'm done with this. And I've said this before, but this is a real thing that happened. It was on a 2-lane road, and we were driving beside this car that had the dome light on. And I looked over, and there was this chick, and I never forget her arms. She had these big arms. Like, she had like almost like she had a sleeveless shirt with like thick arms. Like, it was the kind of girl that would punch you in the face, okay? And she was doing coke in the back seat. And she looked over at me with the dome light on, and she just goes, fuck you. She just says it to me like, I'm just looking at her. I'm just looking at her. You're doing coke. You're on a 2-lane road. There's only 2 cars in the road. I'm watching you do coke. I'm 7 feet away from you doing coke. And you're saying, fuck you? Like, whoa, fuck coke. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But
We used
not
to call
coca
it,
leaves.
I had a few experiences with coke in my life, but here's the breakdown of coke and why it's evil. We used to call it, amongst a few people that I actually trusted enough to partake of it in my life, we called it the sneaky pouch.
Sneaky pouch.
Because what would happen is, like, you'd get some coke.
Right.
And it'd be like in a fold, like a paper fold. Everybody would put in for some coke. And you'd go somewhere. And every once in a while, you'd be like, hey, let me get the pouch. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. And whatever. Right? When you went to that bathroom, the nature of coke, you would take a little piece of that off for yourself and put it in your own little dollar bill. That's your sneaky pouch.
Sneaky pouch.
The sneaky pouch. But what it says about, and everybody did it, the whole crew, like, nobody made cop to it, nobody fucking acknowledged it, but it's like, we all know we took a little piece for ourselves, you know what I mean, off of the coke pile and whatever. Sneaky pouch. It's a deceitful. Are you writing this down?
No, I have to write
Feel
a thought
free,
down.
dude. So it's like, kind of just describes the nature of what mind state that puts you in. It's like, well, fuck everybody else if everybody sniffs, who's sniffing? It's just like, that's what that drug creates. And that's why, I think 3 times in my life I've done it.
Well, any drug that radically changes your brain chemistry, whether it's whiskey or whether it's coke or, honestly, even pot, especially pertaining to edibles, we should watch very carefully what happens when people take it. And I think that's one of the things that I've been guilty of, and I know a lot of other people have been guilty of it too, just to totally come clean. I defend pot so much that I never look at the potential negative consequences of people doing pot if they're too young, because I didn't do it when I was young. I did a few times, maybe like a handful of times before I was 30. And then when I was 30, I met Eddie Bravo. We started getting blazed all the time, and it just
Really?
changed the entire way I looked at pot.
I smoked pot was 14.
I definitely smoked it younger than that. I smoked it when I was 8. My stepdad gave me some when I was 8, just a puff, because I was curious. I was like, what happens when you do it? He goes, do you want to try it? I said, how much should I breathe in? He goes, don't breathe in a lot. Just breathe in a little bit. This is obviously like sketchy memory. I did it once when I was 8.
Right.
And then the next time I did it, I was probably like 14. And then I did it probably maybe again when I was
did
17.
It about 14 when we cut school, and some of the kids, a couple of kids that were the cool guys that I, kind of took a liking to me, and I was like, cool, the cool kids like me, I'm gonna go hang out with these dudes. And they smoke weed, and I remember I hit it, and they would tell me like, have you ever smoked weed? No, I never smoked weed. Nothing might happen to you the first time, but I remember vividly hitting this joint with these dudes and literally spending probably an hour and 30 minutes laughing my balls off at nothing. And I thought it was the greatest thing ever. And from then on, I quit baseball. I quit Pop Warner football.
No.
I became an artist.
Well,
I
had
started
a
drawing
moment.
and painting on walls. I was a different person. That changed my life. Weed is another thing that's probably semi-responsible for my path.
I had a very important moment when I was 16. Like, I'd only smoked weed a handful of times before I was 30 years old, like less than 12, like legitimately. And one time when I was 16, it was me and my girlfriend and my best friend. We went over to her house, and I had stole some weed from our stepdad. And we'd rolled up a joint. And we got so high, we were teleporting. We would like find ourselves in the kitchen.
Astroplaning type
we'd
shit?
all be staring at each other on the couch, and then all of a sudden we'd be in the backyard. We were barbecued. We were fucking 16. I think my girlfriend at the time was 15. Josh was my age. He was 16, and we were just time traveling all over the fucking building. We were way too high.
That's how I described the first and only time I ever smoked dust.
Oh, Jesus, you did that?
Well, I hung out with, like, when I was, one of the neighborhoods I moved into.
Is there a fucking gateway drug to dust? And tell me what it is.
Yes, it's called Cholos.
So did they go
Cholos.
right? Did they go right from Diet Pepsi to dust?
I don't know.
Like,
here's my story. As I moved onto this street called Independence Avenue in the Valley. It's like West Valley, kind of DeSoto, Sherman Way-ish. And it was heavily Latino neighborhood, and like we moved in, and it was cool. I mean, like I came friends with a lot of people, but like I went from like the end of elementary school into junior high, right in that era. So like once we hit the junior high, it's like a lot of the Mexican kids I was hanging out with started hanging out with the little bit older Mexican kids, and a lot of them were dealing in like kind of gang life over there. It's just part of the way they get down, and a lot of them like to fucking do dips, which is like a fucking Sherm cigarette dipped in a motherfucking
Angel dust. Sounds like a good, healthy choice.
Dude, it's how I wound up with this little tattoo right here. First tattoo I ever had in my life. This little 3 dots. Normally it's supposed to be up here, but I wasn't in the gang.
Oh, and
so it's like for some reason I was so fucked up. This is what wound up. I mean, represents what they call mi vida loca. It's like little 3 dots here, but it's like that happened because I smoked dust. Because these dudes passed me the Sherm. I didn't really know what I was. I was like this, bang, and literally the way you just described that time traveling, it was like I felt like if I thought of something to do, by the time I was finished with the thought of thinking to do it, I had already done it. I'm gonna call my mom. Goodbye, mom. You know, it's like that kind of thing. Like it was like fucking nuts. I fucking never experienced anything like that. I was terrified. God. I was terrified. I didn't know what the fuck's going on. You know, it was almost like, you know what? It gave me a lot of feelings. Is if you remember the first Friday movie, when Chris Tucker reflects on like somebody snuck him a little piece of dust and he fucking I didn't lose my mind naked, all that shit, but I feel like I was the butt of a joke that night. Like somebody gave me some dust and was like, let's watch fucking the white boy fucking trip on dust all night.
Jesus,
you know what
Christ.
I mean? But it made for a good story on Joe Rogan. So now we're even.
I had an ex-boxing coach who had his finger bitten off when he was on dust. And he had his toe removed, and his second toe replaced his index finger, and he made it curled so that he could keep throwing right hooks. Because he did. So when you'd shake his hand, you would get like
that's a toe.
Weird.
This is toe right here.
Yeah, you get a toe bone. So when you shake his hand, you get a little of this. And he's a big old Irish gorilla. You don't want to say shit because he'll beat the fuck out of you. And the dude has a toe where his index fingers could have been.
That should be written into a movie.
He's a savage.
That's got to be, like, you know what I mean? That's like something out of Snatch.
I knew a lot of savages when I worked in Boston. When I worked in South Boston, I worked at this place called the Boston Athletic Club.
That's
it's
still
in South
creeping
Boston.
me out a little bit. You know that you did that to my palm. That's still,
I hear you, man.
I'm still creeped out.
Yeah. Dude, I worked at the Boston Athletic Club, and then I worked at Nautilus Plus in Revere. I met Revere, Massachusetts is like, well, what's that place in Brooklyn that's like all guineas and it's what is it? Bensonhurst.
Bensonhurst.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
That was like the Bensonhurst of Boston. It was like Revere, and I worked in a gym there, so I was around a lot of crazy people. I was around a few people that got like indicted for murder. Like this one dude, he didn't get indicted, he got arrested. I don't know if they ever even tried him. Anyway. Long story short.
That's where you're leaving that? I mean
I don't know how much I can talk about this guy's life.
Oh, all right.
Without being
We don't want to cross any
disrespectful.
lines. All right.
He was a nice guy, but I think he might have fucked a few people up.
Well, there's nothing weirder to me. Not even weird. I don't know if that's the right word, but strange and uncomfortable as being around. And I'm not talking about like ex-Marines or guys who've been in the war or anything like that. I'm talking about like a civilian person, and I've been around quite a few of these kind of people, whether it be biker gang guys or whatever, that
Yeah.
you know, have fucking killed people.
You know.
You know that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you're not feeling threatened by them. You don't think they're going to kill you, but like
I used to train a guy who was in Whitey Bulger's gang.
and
He was
he was like,
I don't know if he was a hitman, but that was like the rumor. The
he
rumor
saw
was that-
one at least.
But he asked
Probably.
me while I was teaching him. He asked me if I was going to kill someone, what's the best place to hit him? And we sat around talking about it. Me and him were talking about it. This is when I was a black belt and he was a white belt. So it was like a valid conversation for him to be having with a 20-year-old kid. And I was like, the neck. I would hit someone in the neck. Like, your neck's very vulnerable, and people get knocked out very easily if they get hit in the neck. Sometimes even more so than the head. And he was like, yeah. And we looked at each other. I'm like, okay. This is what I want you to work on right now. We're going to work. I was like,
That's
holy
funny because I
shit.
had a cousin when I was young, like before, like any of the house, like probably 1918. I was in California visiting, and he was a correctional officer in upstate New York. And he said the thing they were taught first is because they walk around. There's only like maybe 30 guards at a time on duty, and 600 to 1,000 prisoners,
right?
You know, depending on what the circumstances are. And all they have is a big metal key ring, and they're taught the first thing you fucking do is punch a dude right in his fucking throat.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're any kind of thing, and he told me that like that. He was like, if I was going to give you any advice and you felt like you were fucking, it's like the first thing you should do. And he explained it well enough that I knew, even as a young man, like, you're playing with a person's life, punching them in the fucking Adam's apple or something. You know what I mean? You could kill them
with
like
one of those
full.
things.
Like he was like, well, with that, even just with your fist, if you hit them right,
You would be amazed. You'd be
Yeah?
amazed at how much damage people could take. Actually, I'd rather get punched in the Adam's apple than I would get kicked in the side of my head, like around here. Because this is what shuts you off. It seems like, again, many things can shut you off, just with the caveat. Like, you can get shut off with a kick, even almost like to the top of your chest. It snaps your head back so much you can get shut off. But there's something about neck kicks. Like, boom! Dudes just go. They just crumple.
They do.
And sometimes they crumple from chin shots. But I think it's the same thing. I think what the chin shot is doing is somehow or another pinching the garden hose that is the spine and shutting the system off.
It's also, if I'm not mistaken, your brain sits in that little bit of fluid, and if your skull moves fast enough, the brain doesn't move as fast, and it touches if the brain touches the skull, that's lights out.
That absolutely too. Also, I think the same principle, like rear naked chokes and head kick knockouts are not the same in that a rear naked choke is way safer. Like if you get choked unconscious, you're going to be fine. If you get head kicked unconscious, you got to take some time off. Like you just got fucked up. But the mechanism behind them is kind of similar in that it's cutting off the circuitry. Not like specifically, because the choke is like stopping the blood, but the head kick is just jolting. Like it's like rebooting your computer.
The head kick, I would imagine, I've never experienced it, nor can I throw one that high. But I would imagine why it might be worse is because, like, all right, you get punched, and it's the motion of the head almost, and the brain not moving that is causing the knockout. If you get kicked like this, it's a shin, it's everything. Your head doesn't even get to move, so the brain is actually just getting slammed against the other side of the fucking skull.
I've made this point really recently and even yesterday. I think people should have no gloves on when they fight. I think fighting with gloves is like makes it easier to punch people, which is more unrealistic. And getting kicked in the head is way worse than getting punched in the head.
It's
and we
the
allow
same
that.
argument for Olympic headgear. That's why it's going away. They think
why
it
it's going
causes
away.
more problems than
Yeah.
it's actually worth at this point.
I also think it's unrealistic in terms of like the limitations of your body. Like there's limitations of your body with punching people, and that's that your wrists bend. Like anybody's ever punched someone or
Would you
something.
condone tape or just
No.
raw?
No,
Then
raw.
I hear
Raw,
you.
raw all
because
around.
taped is really what the problem is. When you tape this wrist
Yeah.
like so well that I can't really fuck it up, I'm gonna throw it with abandon.
Well, also it's
Or
like
with no abandon.
right? If you can tape. Here's
with
what
no
I
abandon.
think.
With no abandon.
I don't think there's anything wrong with two people agreeing with like a rule set. Like they agree, okay, we're gonna wear gloves and we're gonna wear gi pants, like things along those lines. But like, if you can wear gloves for a striker are the equivalent of gi pants for a really good jiu-jitsu guard player. Like if a guy like Eddie Bravo is allowed to wear gi pants and he gets you wrapped up, if you're like some regular dude, you're going to sleep. You're going to get fucked up. You know, unless you're like some high, even like Hoyler Gracie fucks up when he's wearing the gi pants because he knows that those gi pants provide insane amounts of friction and traction and can clamp a hold of you, and he can do some shit to you that you're just going to be super uncomfortable with. In a way, that's as much of an advantage for him to be able to wear the gi pants as it would be for a striker to wear the gloves. But only a striker gets to wear the gloves. Like the grapplers have to wear shorts. Like it's really kind of interesting because having your knuckles taped up and having your knuckles padded up is a real advantage for someone who knows how to hit things, because you can be like much more relaxed and liberal with your use of punches. You don't have to worry about hitting bones. But you would never allow that the other way. Like giving the option of a striker to wear hand pads and then a grappler to wear gi pants. It's like we have a very accepted idea of what's civilized. One of the things is you cover your knuckles. It's kind of stupid because you don't have to cover your elbows. But people are smashing and slashing people up with their elbows. My case against it is that it's not logical. It's just historical. We're just going by a tradition, and it's not a logical tradition.
Right, still Queens of Marksbury kind of.
It is
coming from
kind
there.
of, but it's because these are limitations that we inherited from a single discipline sport.
It's also
like boxing.
If you think back not that long ago, a 75 round fight wasn't unheard of.
Yeah. They didn't have no CTE. There was no Will Smith movie. There was no one knew what the fuck was going on. There was no Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. Nobody had any idea that getting the hit in the head for that long would be that bad for you.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating when you think about it. But I really do think that the gloves I think we're doing a huge disservice to the art of fighting. Because I think we have unrealistic expectations based on the idea that you could just punch someone with padded knuckles. I think if we didn't have padded knuckles, we'd be much more clever in how we use our hands, because you might break your hand at any shot, and it would be easier to choke people, so jiu-jitsu would be more effective. Two of those things are way better for the athletes and way better for the honest interpretation of what fighting is. Right. The problem is no one's going to agree to that, because people are going to, from home, they're going to look at it and go, oh, this is barbaric, this is horrible, they don't even have gloves on, they're bare knuckle.
Or the first time a guy catches a tooth in his fist and his shit splits open, they're going to be, oh!
You catch it in your elbow. What's the difference between your fist and
Exactly.
your chin? Or
You're preaching to the choir with me, but...
What's the difference between you catching one in your knuckle or catching one on the end of your foot when you kick someone's face sideways? You can wheel kick them in the head with your heel, but you can't punch them with bare knuckles. It's stupid. It's a dumb rule.
It's the whole 6 to 12 thing,
that's
too.
Stupid, too.
It doesn't work.
But I'll leave that and take no gloves any day. I really think there should be no gloves. I think even for strikers, I think, yeah, man, you pad some dudes up. You fucking give a dude like Tyrone
What about
Spong
gloves, just like protecting your
Dwayne
knuckles and
Ludwig?
skin, but no taping? What if that,
Why protect your knuckles and skin? Why? What are we looking at? We're looking. Why? How come
We're
you don't do that with
looking at,
elbows? How
let
come
me
you don't do that with
be
knees?
devil's advocate on that.
Okay.
We're looking at exchange of bodily fluids if I punch you in the teeth. You know what I mean?
Oh, silly. You're getting that from everything. You're getting that from arms when you choke people. People get bitten when they've been choked. When you choke like you watch Damian Maya versus Rick Story, and he's going like right over his face, and you don't think he's getting a little bit of bite? You get bites in your arms. They're not even trying to bite you. They're trying to breathe, and you're crushing
Okay,
your
but
arm. into
rarely
their
do you
teeth.
see his arm come away bleeding or something. I'm saying there's the rare occasion of but far less rare would be if there was no gloves and you're punching a guy in the mouth. Okay, you're gonna catch them teeth. There's gonna be a lot more cutting of the hands too. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
It's a good devil's advocate. Here's a solution: double mouth guard. You enforce the rule of a double mouth guard, which means that there's a space in the
outer
middle
version too, like an old school, like
it
the
goes
football shit.
No. It goes lower teeth and upper teeth, and then you have a space in the middle. Bernard Hopkins always used to fight with one of those, and it covers your lower teeth and your upper teeth, and there's a space in the middle, and you breathe through that, and you breathe through your nose, and you get used to doing that. And the lower mouth guard, the problem with having only an upper mouth guard is most people do that, but only an upper mouth guard will work for the most part. But there is, if you're bare knuckle, there's a real argument for using an upper and a lower because you're dealing with a different situation.
Underbites, Joe.
Well, even then, you would just have it fitted to your face.
I'm just devil advocate.
I understand what you're saying. But what I'm saying is that
shout
would
out
be
to
the
Bernard though. Bernard Hopkins, my favorite fighter of all time. Personally, I know whatever. My favorite. He's my favorite. You want to know why? I'll tell you why he's my favorite. I'll tell you why he's my favorite. First of all, I saw his last fight. I was there in the forum, and it was a bummer to me. And you're better than that. And your fucking career will be forever. Because here's when I knew Bernard Hopkins was the fucking man. All right, be real. I've always been surrounded by Latin guys. All right, that's just all the dudes I know are Mexican, Cuban, these kind of guys. Be real is one of my best friends on earth. Sick Jackin, that's another. These are all Latin dudes. These are all Spanish guys, Mexicans and whatnot. So anytime a fight like that would come up, they're all taking the Felix Trinidad or the whoever it was.
Of course,
when he was fighting Felix Trinidad, we were all watching at B Real's house when this motherfucker took the Puerto Rican flag. He was in Puerto Rico talking shit on Felix Trinidad at the time, the fucking almighty fucking son of all Puerto Rico. Yeah. Took the Puerto Rican flag, which if you know about Puerto Rican guys, and I know plenty of Puerto Rican guys, you put that flag on anything, they got so much pride. They'll buy it, they'll wear it. The flag is everything.
They get crazy.
He took this flag in Puerto Rico, threw it on the ground, and stepped on it.
Jesus.
Why? Go back. I'm sure it's on YouTube. Where he steps on the Puerto Rican flag in Puerto Rico, and I literally told my friends, if he gets off that island, nobody on earth's beating his ass. I was like, because they should be trying to fucking kill him right now. If I know anything about Puerto Rican people, you know what I mean. And when he got back, when the fight came that day, I bet everybody in Be Real used to throw like barbecues every fight. Like that's where we would be. That was our routine. We go there, and it was always anytime it was like a black guy versus like any Spanish guy. It could be any kind of Spanish guy. I would always like bet against the house, and more times than not, I won. But like, he stomps on the goddamn flag and got out of that island.
Well, he threw it. He took it away from Felix and threw it on the ground. And then he beat his ass.
Yeah.
I feel like he KO'd him in the 9th round. Am I correct?
I feel like he KO'd him right there.
Well, he definitely landed a
That's where
psychological
he
blow.
KO'd him right there. Because it's like, if you didn't get stabbed before you got off the island of Puerto Rico, that's a win.
He put a lot of pressure on himself, though.
That's that's why I always knew I was like, the executioner's my man. I'm just for the ball factor of that.
That's a big ball factor.
I mean, if you would have pulled that in New York, I would have said you're fucking crazy. In Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Jesus, man, that took huge nuts. That took the dude who was in jail for most of his life and was living off commissary donations.
It was a brilliant performance, too, in that fight.
He kicked ass. Yo, Bernard, until,
Dude,
the last...
He beat the shit out of Felix
What,
Trinidad.
like 5-6 fights of his, he beat the shit out of everybody.
Well, you got to realize he's like 51, which is incredible. In this fight, I want to say he was 34 or 35.
Yeah, he was old when he got it going because he had spent so much time in jail.
Oh, my God, what a beautiful counterpunch.
But you know what they said was always about him is he lived like a monk.
Yep.
He was always in training. He never fucking partied, never smoked, never
processed
drugged.
foods. That's the big thing. He was saying he eats very healthy and clean.
Raw. He was one of the early advocates of the raw diet kind of thing.
Yeah, I know. He also was a brilliant boxer.
But I just loved the executioner came out with the mask.
Dude, you got to realize this guy got past 12 rounds with Sergey Kovalev without getting knocked out. And he got rocked and dinged several times in that fight. He fought Kovalev in his prime. Kovalev, who in my opinion is top 3 or 4 pound for pound in the world. I mean, it's arguable who's number 1 right now.
No,
like
that
a lot
war
of people
fight.
think it's Lomachenko.
He won that war fight, dude. He won that first war fight.
He very well could have.
I feel like he did.
I thought he did.
humble opinion, I thought he won.
In my humble opinion, I agree with you. I would have to like go over it with a real legitimate
be a good
boxing
second fight,
judge,
man.
and like I mean I know what I think about boxing,
Did you see
but I
this
don't
last
know.
Terrence Crawford fight where he put it
Loved
on
it.
that Cuban or whatever dude?
Diaz, yeah.
Just put the fucking
Terrence
beating
Crawford,
on that guy.
he's in the argument for number 1 pound for pound in the world. I feel like it's
yeah, because
Lomachenko.
Chocolatito got beat, right?
Controversial fight, but close enough for him to lose a decision.
I didn't get to see the fight, but I heard
It was controversial.
Yeah.
Some people disagreed with it, but what I feel is that like Terrence Crawford and Lomachenko are the guys who put it on people to the point where they just run away from it.
They just set the fight, right?
They run away from it.
No, but they just set the big fight, the fucking Triple G and
Canelo and
motherfucking
Triple
Canelo
G.
fight. Finally.
Yeah.
What you think? What you think?
It's a very important fight. It's a very important fight because, like, you look at how good Canelo looked against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Yo,
you gotta
man,
wonder,
but man,
like,
come on, let's be real. Respect to Pops. Respect to Pops all the way.
I think that kid got stung a few
Chavez
times.
Jr. was never, ever, ever, ever anywhere. He shouldn't have been in there. The only thing only reason he got in there is because his name was Chavez Jr., man, honestly.
You're 100% correct. Other than the few good, he's had some good performances. Sergio Martinez.
Once he got busted for that weed shit, it seemed like after that it was downhill. The kid just didn't care anymore. You know what? I equate it to this personally. I don't know the guy. I'm not assuming. My take on it is he just got tired of fucking trying to be the fucking his dad. What 100 and something, and how many losses? Just a couple.
His dad was one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
if not
that's
the
why when I
greatest.
hear this Floyd Mayweather like
Mexico.
40 and something, didn't dude go like 70 something and oh? Why does that not count as
no,
much?
He didn't.
Am I tripping?
Yeah.
Am I falling for a Facebook fake news?
What was just Google what was
Yeah, let's
Julio
get that up, 'cause
Cesar
I really wanna know,
Chavez's
'cause
record
yeah.
before he lost? There's two.
Was that
clear
including amateur fights or something before?
Well, Lomachenko only had one
That guy's
amateur
a
loss.
badass.
I mean,
not-
he's got one professional
There's
loss,
very
one
few guys
amateur
that I
loss.
check in boxing because I've become such a UFC fan. I'm some cats. I have friends like my buddy Vinny Paz from.
I love Vinny Paz.
Yeah. He fucking hates MMA, dude. He fucking hates it, dude.
He says that.
He's
I'll
a
take him to the
boxing-
fights.
I
Vinny
tell him,
Paz, I'm
please,
a boxing
Vinny
fan
Paz,
too.
please, Joe.
Don't get
Vinny,
don't get
come
caught
to the fights with
being
me.
on a team,
no, I'm
Vinny
there
Paz.
though. Hey, Joe, I'm there that day when Vinny Paz
Okay.
comes.
Open
I'm there
invitation,
that
Vinny
day.
Paz.
Open invitation.
Vinny Paz, what
Let's
are you
do the
doing in
next-
July?
what's-
July 8th.
July 8th? No, I won't
Isn't
be.
that it?
I don't think I'll be back. But
Where the
if he wants to
fuck
go.
are
No.
you?
I want to be there.
All
But
right.
if you change that opinion, because
Okay.
he's a boxing but he is a
I know
fucking
he is.
aficionado. He
He
loves
is.
the boxing.
I know
game.
he is. I know
But
he
he like
is.
disrespects the MMA game to a certain degree.
I
Where I'm
get
like,
it.
okay with your little like comments, dude. You
It's a
know this
waste-
is real fighting. You know in the streets, Floyd Mayweather would get his fucking ass busted by Conor McGregor.
wouldn't even be close.
It wouldn't even be close.
But
it
here's
would be
my
a
take-
destruction. It would be Conor McGregor grating Floyd Mayweather's face into the pavement like Parmesan
Yeah.
cheese. That's what it would be.
He would just
You know what
rip
I mean?
his
in
legs
real
out.
life.
He would just rip his legs out.
That's
And
it.
If Floyd didn't tag him with a knockout punch within the first few seconds of the
Exactly.
fight, Conor would be way away from him, kicking his legs out, hands
I
outstretched.
read this article. I don't know. You
kicking
probably
his
saw
legs
it
out.
about like what if. It was like a what if article. What if Conor took the fight with Mayweather and just came out, picked him up, slammed him on the fucking ground, and dismantled him and like ripped his arm just to do it.
He could do it. I mean, he really could do it if he wanted to take him down and
Just to be like, yeah,
strangle
okay, I
him.
lost all the money and everything, but I still kicked his ass. That's nothing. MMA destroys fucking.
He would go to
boxing.
jail or something would happen because there would be, here's the problem, there'd be betting, right? There'd be all these people that bet against it. What do you do there? Because Floyd wins by disqualification. You knew you were going to do this, so you didn't go into this with good faith. Class action lawsuit against Conor McGregor.
Wow, you're taking a what if article way too far.
That's what I do, dude. That's what I
Just
do with
trying to
everything.
say like that would be funny.
That's what I do with everything. It's my problem.
No, I love it.
I go deep. Too deep.
No such thing, man.
It's going to be an interesting fight if they fight. I think they should fight with no gloves. See what the fuck's really going on.
Hey, one other
That's
thing,
my
real
thing.
quick, since
Boxing,
I'm
no
really.
gloves.
Joe started me drinking whiskey before the podcast
I
at,
didn't
at
start.
two in the afternoon.
It's his idea.
I ain't mad at you. Come on, don't act like you didn't say let's drink some whiskey.
Believe
all right?
it. It's
Now, if you
suggested
expect
from-
Everlast to say no to let's drink some whiskey, then you have made the faux pas. But what I want to say real quick is because I've been drinking and I haven't been there in a while either. My good friend Jason Ellis just won his King of the Cage match
Yes,
like
he
a
did.
week ago.
He won by submission,
But
right?
yes, he won outright by submission. And congratulations, my dude. I love you.
Congratulations.
You fucking worked hard for that, and that inspires me. That kind of shit inspires me. When I see Jason do that, I'm like, fuck, I'm making a lot of excuses for shit.
He did real strength and conditioning with like Nick
he
Kershaw.
trained. Yo, first of all, he beat up a couple MMA guys. I mean, whatever, Gabe Rudabar, whatever. He beat I was there when he beat him up. It wasn't a fluke. I watched
beat his ass.
Beat him up.
Yeah.
All right? That's a guy who actually
him.
fights, whatever you want to say about all the weight cuts he missed on the Ultimate Fighter shit. That guy's a professional fighter.
Yeah.
Jason beat the shit out of him and knocked him out.
Yeah.
All right? When I heard about this fight, I was texting him like, you're going to win this fight, dude. I know you win. But, yo, you fucking won that fight, dog. Real deal. Love you. Congrats.
Yeah, and did everything he had to do. Like, did the real shit to get in shape.
That's why I'm saying he's inspired. That kind of guy's inspiring to me, man, because what he does is he chooses something and he says, I'm going to commit to it. I was saying, I think earlier, I'm here because I followed road signs, and I consider myself adept at reading the signs of life and where when there's the forks in the road, I happen to be good at making the right choice. There's certain guys that don't give a fuck about the fork in the road and determine their own fucking path and decide. You're kind of one of those dudes, and I admire that in a way. I mean, I admire what I do. I recognize there's a skill and a talent and a blessing in what I do, but there's something about being able to decide something and fucking make it so. Even though maybe it's not supposed to be so. And that is my next chase in life. Maybe not to it. Even if I don't achieve it, to understand it, how it's possible. How could I be that guy? How could at 20 maybe I have understood a little bit differently? So maybe by the time I'm 70, God willing.
It's an illusion. This is the illusion. The illusion is that you're looking at the ultimate results from your perspective, and you're saying, how do I tune myself in? How do I get totally connected with what I really want to do and not be influenced by the opinions and the ideas of others? How do I find my true sweet spot, right? The problem is we all look at other people's destination, again, like that crazy quote, that comparison is the enemy of joy. It's really kind of the same thing.
The thief of joy.
Yeah, the thief of joy. The whole key, I think, to anything you do, whether you're a guy who makes furniture or a woman who paints or whatever the fuck you do, whether you're a rapper or a blues singer or a stand-up comedian or an author or whatever the fuck you do, the thing is, and this is a cliche expression, but there's a reason why people keep expressing it over and over again. Get out of your own way. Half of the reason why you're not tuning in perfectly to whatever fucking vibration is available to you in the universe is you get in your own fucking way. You get in your own way with insecurity and with ego and with expectation and with pressure and with all the different judgments you cast on different forms of art that you may or may not like. Like, you're wasting time. You're wasting energy. It's clogging up your gears. You only have a certain amount. You got to manage your attention the way you would manage oxygen if you were in a spaceship. You got to say, I can't give away this stuff to bullshit. I can't be sitting around wondering if, whatever the fuck it is, if it's not relevant to your life, you're wasting way too much time thinking about this.
Okay. Let me come at you.
Okay.
This is personal. This is personal. I accept everything you just said as truth, but let me throw a personal angle at you.
Yes, sir.
I want to be in much better shape.
Okay.
Okay?
We could do that. We can get that.
No, hear me.
happening.
Let me get to the circumstances. I have a life that presents me with a lot of problems that can make emotional conflictions.
Yes.
With what I'm trying to achieve in life.
Right.
Legitimate ones.
Right.
You know what I mean? I won't call myself ever depressed because I don't like that word. I mean, I do get depressed, but I don't want to use the word like, oh, I had depression. I think a lot of people lean on some shit and like try to actually milk it in, especially in media.
Do you want to see something right now before you keep talking that's going to change your life? That's going to like lock into exactly what you're saying and
you
show
don't even know what
the
I'm
way?
going to finish saying, but yes.
I'm going to show you the way. Jamie, go to my Twitter page and pull that Jocko Good. Watch this. Watch this. This is very important, my friend.
Please.
This is very important.
It's one of my
And
guys.
I trust in you enough to be like, okay.
hold on, back it from the beginning.
I
bring
won't
it, bring
take
it,
offense that you didn't hear the finish of my story.
Bring it to the beginning
But yes,
and put it up on the
please.
screen. And
As long as before we're done, we're at least going to play one more war porn video because I promised my guys.
Give us some volume. Listen to this.
One of my direct subordinates, one of my guys that worked for me, he would call me up or pull me aside with some major problem, some issue that was going on, and he'd say, "Boss, we got this and that and the other thing." And I'd look at him and I'd say, "Good." And finally one day he was telling me about some issue that he was having, some problem, and he said, "I already know what you're going to say." And I said, "Well, what am I going to say?" He said, "You're going to say good." He said, "That's what you always say. When something is wrong and going bad, you always just look at me and say good." And I said, "Well, yeah. When things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it." Okay. Didn't get the new high-speed gear we wanted? Good. Didn't get promoted? Good. More time to get better. Oh, mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get funded. Didn't get the job you wanted. Got injured. Sprained my ankle. Got tapped out? Good. Got beat? Good. You learned. Unexpected problems? Good. We have the opportunity to figure out a solution. That's it. When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out. Don't get startled. Don't get frustrated. If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
Jocko Willing changing motherfuckers' lives right now, live in America. Coming to you from Southern California.
Play Jocko right now.
Goosebumps.
Play Jocko right now. My kid's got pneumonia in her fucking left lung to a degree that nobody fucking knows what to do, and fucking even the doctors are perplexed.
Well, you're right about that. What he's talking about
sick
is
kids
overcoming
throw a
things.
sick. This is my question. This is why I was saying, I'm not asking for
You're absolutely
sympathy.
right.
I'm not asking. All I'm saying, I actually came on this show today to say if something in this realm, if somebody in the Valley area or LA greater area, my Twitter's OG Everlast, my fucking everything's the same. OG Everlast or Eric Schrody on Facebook. Legitimate. I need a little help. I need a little help in the sense that I want to be in better shape, but I travel so much, and then at home is a stress of like, I want to go to the gym. I couldn't go to the fucking gym for the last 10 days. It was either me or my wife at the fucking hospital.
Listen,
you hear? No, Joe. I don't want to
make
make you feel bad at all. I want to say is like that was beautiful. Who is that guy again?
Jocko Willing.
Jocko Willing. That is fucking supremely motivational on any level, except what I'm trying to say is like skating your way around this fucking kind of emotional fucking dilemma of like, it's hard.
Of course,
and
it's
I'm
hard.
here saying it's hard. I'm
No
actually
one is
bringing it
denying.
up to say
No one's denying
I'm
it's hard.
failing in certain ways at what I'm trying to achieve.
Right.
And so like that's what I mean when I say I see it, Jason. And I know, again, I got a little extra. I got a little extra to deal with. My backpack has a little more weight emotionally and mentally. Okay, but I'm not making that an excuse. What I'm saying is like, how do I be more like that? How can that? I want that. I'm asking.
Well, what he's giving
And that's
you is
great.
opportunities.
But
to,
again,
he's
he
talking
didn't-
about very specific situations, giving you opportunities to recover
personal
from
ones.
those
I got beat
situations.
down. I'm fucked
Of
up.
course.
I'm fucked up. It's when it's
Just rise
it's this
above.
other thing. This other.
I
It's this.
understand.
There's a whole different level of like mental challenge to that. I'm not saying what he's saying is wrong. I'm not saying it doesn't work. But how do I find that in that? That's tough.
It's the same. What he's proposing, the principles.
And if
that
he
he's
has the answer,
proposing-
please fucking holler at me.
No, listen, man. The principles that he's proposing when he's saying that, you can apply them to everything. Figure out how you can take whatever situation you're in and improve your position.
I could do 400 curls a day and be as buff as Joe Rogan. I can. How do I
don't
get
do
there?
that many curls.
I'm making fucking. You're
don't even
you're
do
acting
any
like
curls.
literal with this literal. Don't get literal with me. All right, because I'm
Too
drinking
late.
whiskey. You're drinking water.
That's whiskey.
All right, I only got to drive a block. You got to drive however far.
Interesting. Someone's comparing. The
I'll
enemy of
walk.
joy.
I'll walk.
The thief of joy has crept into our travel plans.
No, that was actually just meant to be like a little, but I want that. I found that very motivating. But what I'm saying is like, there's this hurdle.
I understand.
Of Lieutenant Dan that's got some real fucking anger issues. I'm working them out. I'm working on them. This is the real. Hey, the whiskey. Right. I'm being more honest than I even thought I would be today. Okay. But you don't get on a fucking platform like Joe Rogan and say, "Hey, I'm failing at this," unless you're fucking trying to do something about it. You know what I mean? I want to achieve. I don't want to be you. But I'm like, I see the way I've been watching. You know what I'm saying. But I've been watching your videos about running. About running.
I do a lot.
Another
of it.
thing that has also gotten to me and gets me to when I do get to work out, it's because I hear Joe Rogan tell me, "Don't let the inner bitch fucking get you."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I understand, and that's been a big motivator for me. Is like, but it's not an inner bitch to be disturbed and upset and your life upheaved by this thing.
It's absolutely not. It's absolutely not.
Do you feel where I'm coming from, right?
I think, but what he's saying in this video, what is applicable, and you can argue whether or not
it's all applicable. Not, but I'm asking on a personal level. I said on a personal level, and I'm not trying to argue with you or be argumentative.
Okay.
As I'm saying on a personal level, that's the level of it with it. The level of that inspirational message is great, but I'm struggling.
Of course you are.
With this part of it. Like, how do I? Well, if I got my arm broken and snapped by a guy who tapped me out, or life just kicked my ass and I didn't get the job or the opportunity I wanted, and good, I understand that. Mm-hmm. But I am personally struggling with. Not using this as an excuse, not using this, but the truthful, emotional fucking agony of like seeing a child tell you, like, and not just tell you, but go through this hospital of the last 2 weeks, these things of like, how do I be stronger? How do and anybody, and what I'm saying, I'm not being argumentative with you again, is saying, please, if you got a book, tweet it to me. If you're the dude who fucking is local and says, I know how to help, plus, I understand. I have a heart valve replacement. My workout situation. There's a lot of shit.
I can
work out, but let me tell you
cardio?
Why working out gets weird for me. Okay. I'll start. I'll do good. I'll drop 15 pounds. Bang, boom, boom, and then I'll start to push myself, and I'll get distrustful of my own heart. Like a pain or a tinge that really might not be anything will come along and fucking scare the shit out of me, because there's nothing. I never was afraid of anything in my life until I had children. And the only thing I'm afraid of on this planet is not being here for my children. My life or death, I do not care. I've died twice, literally. All right. I don't care about that. But now there's this fear of like, these children, these girls, not even boys. I honestly even feel I would feel differently if I had 2 boys. Like, they'll be all right. I can instill the manly shit into them while I'm here. But my girls, my biggest fear in life is not being here for them. And I'm good. I'm healthy. Except for about 25 pounds of weight. I'm actually, my blood works, all that. My doctors are all very happy with me. It's the only complaint they ever have, and the only complaint I ever have is I have some back pains. Sometimes I don't sleep.
All right, let me stop.
All weight related.
Go ahead. Let me stop you with all this talk, because you have a lot of reasons why things aren't working physically the way you would like them to
and
work.
And I'm asking for help. I'm definitely saying, like, yes, I would like help.
I understand you are, but there's too much extra energy spent on things that aren't helping you. Like, I know you have these time constraints, but to focus on them is counterproductive, because you have the time constraints rob you of your time, and then the focusing on the time constraints and the agony of those time constraints and the fucking frustration of having those time constraints robs you of more time and more energy. You just got to accept it. You got to be zen about it. I had a friend.
I'm working on it.
He's a comedian from Boston. His name is Tony V, and he said something to me once that's very important, and it applied to the rest of my life, and it was a very simple statement. He was driving from Boston to New York several times a week, for some job he got. And I'm like, how do you do that? And he goes, you know what I found? When I get in the car, I just go zen. I say, this is what I'm doing. I don't concern myself with the fact of it.
Wash the dishes.
I don't concern myself with the fact that I can't believe I have to do this. Oh my God, woe is me. He goes, I just do it. And then I thought about that day, and then I applied that to my life, because that's the best advice anybody could ever get. If anybody who's doing anything they don't like to do, of course you don't like to do it, but to concentrate on the fact that you don't like to do it compounds the not like to do it aspect of it. It makes it worse.
No. Actually, what you're describing is actually a lot of the stuff I'm reading right now, which is like the art of mindfulness, which is, again, when I keep saying wash the dishes, it's kind of like saying exactly that. Like, wash your dishes to wash your dishes. Don't wash your dishes to get to the next thing, because then you're not living life. You're not breathing. You're not living in your moment. So I'm working on that. But at the same time, I'm still saying, like, you know what? I found in the last couple years, especially through like the little social media that I managed to be successful at, that people want to know the real deal. Hey, shit ain't fucking perfect over here. There's a lot of things about me I'd like to be better.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because I make good money and I ain't hungry, I could eat filet mignon and all that every night. You know what I mean? I do live really nice. I'm very fucking grateful for my life. But there's a lot of fucking dark you don't see that if you saw, maybe you wouldn't. All this fakery. There's a lot of fake, like the Instagram.
Are you talking
everything's
about Little
fake.
Bow Wow? How dare you?
Whatever.
Bring up
You
Little
could bring
Bow
him up, but
Wow.
yeah, that, you know what? That is
Jamie's been bringing up Little Bow Wow nonstop.
That's the cherry on top of fucking fuckery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what? He got called out for. He was on a flight. At least he was in, like, you know, on a plane in first class.
Was he even? Was he really?
It seemed like business, at least. I fly business. I don't fly first. I fly business. As long as I can lay down, as long as the tape, things like this, when I fly to Europe, I'm cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, and the few times I have flown private, I Instagram that shit.
Did you?
Hell yeah, because I don't fly private, dude. I know what it really costs.
Right.
You know what I mean? It ain't cheap.
It's not.
You know, when I holler at Dana like, hey, can I catch a lift to the next flight, and I don't get a response back, I know it ain't cheap. Because that's my dude. If it was cheap, he'd be like, yeah, come on.
That's funny. I think they have to log you in and
Exactly.
make a reason why
it's
Everlast
official.
is
It's
flying.
official. Yeah, why is Everlast going, man?
Why is
well, because you
Everlast
play
on
my
the
song at
roster?
every event. How's that? Is that good enough?
That's important.
Every event. And I love Dana for that. Thank you, man. I love that fucking 35 cents I get for that shit every time.
Is that what you get?
Probably something in that neighborhood. If it's one time in an arena. Yeah. But
Arena
think about
only
it.
pays 35 cents?
Well, the radio only plays 5, so I'm just assuming
Wait a minute. Every time your song gets played on the radio, you get 5 cents.
basically somewhere in that neighborhood.
Wow.
Somewhere between 5 and 10, probably.
What a weird deal.
Hey, dude, it gets played a lot because the checks.
I'm sure the checks are fat because you're dealing with a lot of countries, a lot of humans, 7 billion people. That 5 cents adds the fuck up.
It does. Mailbox money, we call that.
It's a good way to describe
But
it.
like I said, you know, what I mean, it ain't. It's
Well,
just
here's
like,
what
hey,
you
man,
gotta-
I'm honestly like saying, hey, throw it out there. If
Change your
there's somebody
diet.
local, my diet is working on that. I told you, soda
No
is my
sodas.
fucking enemy.
None.
That's
They-
my bane of my
think of
existence.
them as
Because
crack.
Coca-Cola is it
Poison.
is crack.
Well, think of them as
Coca-Cola is my
poison.
crack.
Don't ingest poison. You
Like,
don't
wake
need
up,
that.
do you drink coffee in the morning?
Yes,
I
love
don't.
it.
I hate coffee. I drink
I read a story
Coca-Cola.
that said it makes you live forever. What was the article that I retweeted? I said I want to believe. It said coffee can make you live longer. I didn't even read it. I read that article
You
for
just
like
read the
a
headline?
half a paragraph.
Fake news.
I
Fake
might have got
news.
into paragraph number 2
Fake
before
news.
I clicked my email.
And let's play another war porn video because
All right,
it's fucking dope.
let's play another war porn video, Jamie. Plus, I gotta pee bad. But I'll be right back.
You need whiskey bladder, brother.
This one's called
Okay.
Dazed.
Days.
I'm
This
getting
was the second
criticized
one.
for
Here
my
we go.
factual. Facts that are actual. Supreme mathematical. God's on sabbatical.
Murder, burner pop made us fast learners. 17th block turned to get the blast further. Novocaine, brain mat, snort the Larry Birder. Alternum the pain and short the Barry murmurs. Been dazed by 10 sprays a day. In the neighborhood we're raised by gunshots and AKs. Young age, these SAs did not play. Price paid, put away or a block grave. No passes, low classes, hazards. Smoking dust to dust, ending up with ash to ashes. Warrior shit, bending up against the clashes. No choice in the street ring, but dance like classes. That stick and move with the sickest crews. Walking street while at war with the clicker tool. Paranoid on the rock in the liquor tool. Go to college, graduate when you hit the shoe. Shoe lead, so high like Zeppelins. A spark in the dark can light up your whole residence. Apartment building seek shelter, bullet hold the evidence. Romanticizing violence, giving death a little elegance.
Perfect timing.
All right.
Perfect timing. And you're back.
Yes, sir. Had to release some whiskey.
I understand. I did as well.
Shout out Divine Styler. He did all the tracks for
All-time
the
record
Warp.
shout outs.
You know what I mean? I gave him like 4 already, but still.
I think this is the most shout outs on a podcast.
Well, I'm going to say shout out Joe Rogan. How you like that? What up? You know what I mean?
Shout out to Everlast.
You know what I mean? Shout out every Bravo.
Shout out Tate Fletcher.
Hottest podcast I ever did in my life. Get some fucking air conditioning in that building, man.
Is it hot in
and
here?
take the water.
Where?
No, not
Tate?
here. No, at Eddie's spot.
Eddie Bravo's
And there was
spot?
like 400 water bottles when I did this shit.
Yeah, they don't have them made.
I love that dude.
Is that Van Nuys?
Yeah, over there somewhere by the
No,
not far
he's
from
not
the
there.
Spearmint Rhino.
Shh. Keep it down. People are gonna find him. Yeah, he's what's hilarious. I did it once, and there was a dude playing drum solos next door. Like some dude in the building next door was playing the drums. You could hear it through the fucking walls. Like Jesus, dude.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it was kind of a rehearsal studio. Yeah.
And I was like, dude, does this happen often? He's like, sometimes it happens.
You know, he's got to get his Smoke Serpent remixes on. You know.
Yeah, man.
It's my dude. I like that guy.
He's
He
the
keeps
best.
offering, introduce me to a dude out there in Corona, near where I live.
To work out?
He said he got a black belt out there. That
Did you jiu-jitsu?
You know, I was doing a little Brazilian jiu-jitsu with Marcus Vinicius over at Beverly Hills Jiu-Jitsu. I was literally probably one lesson away from my blue belt when everything kind of went haywire in my life. Layla was born and all this stuff happened. And I kind of moved south. I didn't live here anymore.
Well, you're friends with Joey Diaz. You should go with Joey. Joey does it in Burbank. If you can make it up to Burbank,
I live
I
live an hour and a half a fucking way.
Oh,
dude.
okay. I'll
You know
find
what
a
I
place near
mean?
you. I'll find a
and what
place
I want
near
is
you.
privates. I'll set up my garage with a little pad system. Because here's the deal. I know it doesn't happen often, but anything like staff or anything like that is so dangerous for Layla that it's really scary.
Yeah.
So like working out in a gym with like 40 guys working out, there's two frightening things for me working out in a normal jiu-jitsu class.
Right.
The fucking average novice that doesn't realize he's fucking stupid and fucking pulls my left arm out or my right arm out and I can't play guitar for fucking 6 weeks or a month or 6 months even. You know, so I only train with the teachers. That's my way. I just say, hey, I'll pay for that, whatever, a little extra of private, whatever. You know what I mean? But obviously, Eddie doesn't live out that way. So, but he told me, he was like, I got a fucking guy out there who's awesome. He's a fucking black belt. He's fucking awesome. And I haven't followed up as much as he hasn't gotten back. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's just, it's not like he's like ignoring me or anything. I'm just saying I got to follow through on that and get that going too. Because if I lose enough, I've lost about 15 pounds, honestly, with all this talk we're saying. And recent, it's called the Great American Worry Diet.
Worry?
Yeah, worry. Spend a week in the hospital and lose 15 pounds. You know, especially at one that doesn't serve meat or caffeine. You know, so those, you know, shout out to the Seventh-day Adventists who don't eat meat or caffeine in like the most stressful situations ever.
Yeah, like
loving the
no
but
meat,
you know,
no
honestly,
caffeine.
I won't even say they took such amazing care of my daughter. I love every single one of them.
That's awesome, man.
They're non-meeting, non-coffee drinking asses. I love them all.
Maybe try that diet. Just keep riding it. It's working.
It's
so
working
far.
right now, right?
What you said sodas?
I'll
but is
do
there
without
anything
the
else?
worry though. I just
Is there
get the worry part of the worry diet is the hard part. You know,
Of course.
That's the whole the reason of what I kind of brought up earlier. Is like that's the how do you get around that? How do you get around worrying about your own kid?
You're gonna have to read some books on
Yeah,
strategies.
I'm trying.
How to do that?
I'm
What
trying.
have you read?
I'm trying, but I'm also here. I'm feeling myself. I've smoked a little. I've drank a little.
Right.
I trust the Joe Rogan person and his audience that, hey, if there's an interesting idea out there, go ahead and shoot it out.
I'm sure someone will find
I mean,
you.
there's gonna and I know I'm gonna get like 400 fucking shitty ideas, but if there's one good one out there, great.
Yeah, there's gonna be dudes who recommend video games. Like, I
Hey,
know how to
fucking
fix you, bro.
GTA 5 fucking solved all my problems,
Jump
dude.
rope, bro. Jump rope and virtual reality.
Hey,
It'll fix
ping
you,
pong,
bro.
dude. Ping pong changed my life, man.
You know what? You've been given a very difficult test by life itself.
And you
Whatever
know what?
wanna-
The truth of the matter is
definition of
up
life.
until that, man, I had an easy ride.
You had a
Okay,
great
so
ride.
don't feel bad for me.
Right.
But if you got a suggestion, please shoot it my way, because I'm at this point in life
you've
where it's
been-
like I've understood again the communal. I think beyond the music lesson of it being communal,
Right.
is as a human being we are communal people.
Yeah.
And though it even hails back to the beginning of what we talked about, the blues and the reds. They are trying to separate us because we're communal. And if we all actually sat down, even the most fucking worst opinion over there and the worst opinion over there, if we were all in the room together, we could find somewhere over here where we could both at least be the least bit angry at each other.
I honestly think we should eliminate political parties.
Thank you.
I think what we should have is just a bunch of people with
Pull
varying,
money out of politics.
varying ideologies.
Pull money. Let's hear
For
an
sure,
interesting
that.
idea. Here's an interesting idea about England. All right, England announces their elections. There are 3 months from the announcement of the elections till the election for you to
Why is that-
legally
I understand.
campaign.
Why is that good?
It's better because of what again, hailing back to what we said earlier, the day after the president's elected, it seems like they're talking about who's going to run in 2020 already.
Right.
All right. And this, hey, we might be in a particularly weird circumstance now in America. Again, I won't even delve into that. What I want to say is the day after our president is elected, we shouldn't be talking about who's going to be the next fucking president until that guy fucks up enough to say who's going to be the next president. There should be and again, we are in some extremely absurd and weird circumstances at the moment, but under normal circumstances, my argument would just be, we're Americans. This guy got elected through the process we all agreed to. And even now, I'll say that, but dude's already fucking... Again, that's why I don't want to visit that, because that's a whole fucking 4 hours on its own. Honestly, I don't... And I just don't want to even go there, but give America a fucking chance. You know what I mean? Am I making any sense?
You're making
Because I've
sense.
had like 4 whiskeys now, brother.
What your idea is of America versus what everybody else's idea. We need to come to some sort of clarification.
My idea is this,
On
and
what
I don't mean to
America is.
interrupt you. My idea is this, is that you could be the furthest away from me you could be, and I could be way over there. But if we were in the same room, somewhere in here, we'd find a place that we'd be like, all right, I can live with that. That's the idea.
We need to figure out what these things are that we're talking about living with, because I don't think there's very many of them that we're
There
really
aren't.
disagreeing on between the left and the right. I think there's a lot of bullshit, and I think it's a lot of what we were talking about earlier. This tribal
I think
bullshit,
the people who
dig our
elected
heels
this-
in the sand.
The people who elected this personal president right now.
Personal president?
Yeah, the personal president. It's a personal president. This is a very few amount of people. There's really, truly very few people that are his base. 35%? Let's
Right-
keep it real.
right now,
Let's keep
you
it
mean?
real. Let's keep it fucking real. Yeah, because a lot of bailed on him because they realized what they voted for was not
Right.
what they voted in protest almost. A lot of people.
What's his approval rate? It's pretty low, right?
It's fucking the lowest in history.
Is it the lowest in history?
And again, I don't care.
Right.
What I'm saying is, like, a lot of people said fuck the whole system, and for a second they bought into the fact that this guy actually might think the same when this guy spent his entire life fucking over the working class dude. In fact, as much as I would have voted the other direction for whatever you want to say, and I don't give a fuck about Hillary Clinton. I'm not telling you the fucking world would have been saved by Hillary Clinton. Fuck that shit. All right? That was an entitled motherfucking person who was only given that fucking position because for some reason the people, the elite of that party thought it was her turn or something. I don't know. That was wrong. That's just as much their fault for losing as fucking
We really shouldn't be talking about politics. We're way too
fuck
stupid.
it. It's already there. I'm drunk. What I'm saying is this, is that dude is going to give me a tax break if he's successful. And the guys that actually voted for him, the union guys and the fucking working class guys, are gonna get fucked over. And at the end of the day, they'll be regretting it. As much as like some of the things he's spitting at you and saying to you are appealing, he's not that fucking guy. Just like fuck Hillary Clinton, fuck Donald Trump. So you can't be mad at me. Fuck all of them. Bernie Sanders was probably our most logical choice, but I said fuck him because I read his tax plan and he would have fucking raped me. So it's like there's got to be, I don't know, there's got to be a whole new system where the money is, there has to be a flat tax kind of thing where every fucking person from corporation, the problem is too many corporations are considered legally
Dude, we're talking
people.
way too much about politics. You're freaking me the fuck out. I can't do this anymore, Jamie!
I'm here.
I understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying, this is, as a person,
Everybody,
it's not
yeah,
politics.
everybody
It's
who's
like
running is
explore
flawed.
the fact that they're separating and dividing. You could be a white supremacist. You could be a black fucking nationalist. Whatever
Right.
you want to be. They're fucking playing on that. They're playing on that. This is designed. Facebook, all that. These algorithms are fucking designed to design. What do you want to see on your page?
Well, it's
Remember that.
Well, it's
please.
not what do you
we'll
want to see.
end
It's
this
what have you-
conversation
hold on
right
a
now.
second.
If everybody will
Do you think
just
that's a
remember
conspiracy,
that.
or do you
No,
think
I
that's
just
just like
think
what
it's
you've
a
been
fact of the way they set up programs. They
What does
set up
that
a program
mean?
to say what's going to be most, like the guy who invented Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg.
Where are we
whoever's
going
his
with
team,
this?
whoever's his team wants the people who use his product to be the happiest they can be with it.
Right.
Correct?
I'm assuming.
Here's
yeah.
the direction we're going with this.
Okay.
Right? So if they look at the things you click on,
Right.
and start developing a pattern and an algorithm, and
Right.
you click on these extremely right things or you click on these extremely left things, sooner or later that's all that's going to be on your page. Instagram even changed their fucking algorithm to it's not like what was just last posted.
Right.
It's what was last posted that's most popular and what's appealing to you that you like.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's where I'm going with this. Is that these people they don't understand. You're being catered to. You're being fed. You're being fed ideas you want to be fed. You're not being challenged. And I've always said this about even personal my art. If there's not somebody, it goes back to being in a room by yourself and why I got stagnated with making a record. If there's not somebody in that room somehow to challenge your idea isn't the best it can be. Ever.
I understand what you're saying, but I think that an alternative point of view would not be that you're getting fed. Would that be these algorithms recognize your interests, and whether it's golf or South American fishing or fucking skydiving, whatever the fuck you're interested in, you start searching for that, it'll give you things that you
But
can
it's not just what you're searching, it's what you're liking. And it's like you're saying, the conversations that you've best had in your life are almost alternative opinions. And those start getting filtered out of your feed. And then your feed...
No.
It does.
That's only your own choices. If you choose to go, why don't you just search out things that are alternative to what your
Because you're
perspective
Joe
is?
Rogan and you think like that. We're talking about the guy who works fucking 40 hours a week, who gets on Facebook and sees what comes down his
telling
feed.
that guy that he's no different than you or me.
I hope he's listening to you.
I'm sure. I hope he is.
I hope he's listening to you, but you hear what I'm saying, though, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's
I
not a
think-
fucking dismissed idea that there's guys who got their heads fucking down just trying to get their paycheck for the next week to get their
Of
fucking
course.
mortgage paid, and they look up for a long enough time, and maybe Facebook is the one thing they look at a week, and then that's where they get their information from.
Yeah, but that's not Facebook's fault. That Facebook creates an algorithm that
Did I
reinforces what your
blame
interests
Facebook?
are.
I'm saying be
it like-
aware.
I understand what you're saying, but you're saying it also in the way of like almost like these people are victims of this. This is just a simple
They're
algorithm
victims in
that picks
themselves.
up. But it's not even their
But
victims.
they don't even.
Themselves.
They're not even aware of that they're victims of themselves, and they are.
I would say
They've
the
created
alternative.
they're creating their own universe. They are completely creating, and this thing is allowing that. All right, you can block whatever you want out if you don't want to see something.
Right.
You can create, and what do they call it in curate your own universe.
Right.
All right, and let me tell you something about resistance. What I find interesting,
Like Keith Olbermann resistance.
sort of. He's sometimes he can be a propagandist
No, go
too.
ahead. I'm just kidding.
He's a propagandist too, like Michael Moore. Everybody, there's no true center right now. That's why I keep coming back to like, how do you know what's truly true?
Right.
And you want to know where I find truth?
Where?
Comedians. Comedians are the new punk rock. Comedians, truthfully, are the people who are challenging the status quo right now. Whether you're talking about the guy on HBO who has the Last Week Tonight show or the Daily Show kind of news, more Americans, and this is a studied fact, trust comedic news as truth than they do fucking Anderson fucking Vanderbilt Cooper.
Vanderbilt.
He's a Vanderbilt.
Middle name?
He's a Vanderbilt. I'm just throwing it out. He's not.
What does that mean?
It means he comes from a very fucking privileged family, dog. And he represents a very leftist stand. It's fakery is what I'm saying. He's a Vanderbilt. All right?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's like saying he's a Rockefeller. All right? And if you don't
Not
follow
like
me on that.
Jay-Z Rockefeller.
No, Rockefeller, not Rockefeller.
Oh.
All right? Rockefeller, like the fucking evil fuck that just died.
Oh, he's a bad guy?
All right? Bad guy. All right? 1%. He's a 1%er. All right? Trust that. Trust the people you're watching that you trust. Fox News, CNN, all
Right.
this bullshit. And hey, I might get a lot. I ain't even gonna look at Twitter later. So fuck all y'all. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're scared?
I don't look at Twitter. I don't care. So if you hate what I'm saying, I don't care. I'm gonna say it anyways.
Do you know what the
because what I'm
1% for
saying
the
is for
world
the
is?
greater good. It's like I'm not telling you I'm left, I'm right. I'm saying there's a place in the middle where we're all fucking people and we all give a fuck about the same shit, like our lives and our children and our eating and our fucking having a roof over our head. And there's no reason that the richest fucking planet on earth can't figure these fucking problems out. And the only reason there are problems is because they want there to be problems and for you to fucking be fighting with each other. You're blue or you're red. Choose it, Crip or you blood.
Oh, I don't even
Are you
necessarily
Crippin'?
know
What's
if
up?
this is something
What's
they've
up,
chosen.
Joe? You Crippin' or you bloodin'? What you doing? You a blood? You a Crip in this political fucking environment? Are you a blue state or you a red state, my man? What up? That's what they doing. That's what they're doing. And I know we didn't want to go here, and I know I tried to push it off for like hours. But I ain't making it personal about a president or a thing. I'm saying there's a system in place that's fucking keeping us locked down. And it's fucked up. And it's money related. And if we took money out of it, we could get more of an honest politician who would actually give a fuck about your kid. And whether there's fucking power lines going over your house, or whether you got health care, or whether you got this or that. Until then, don't expect me to give a fuck about any of y'all. And that's the drunk me talking.
When you say any of y'all, who are you talking about?
Any
Who?
of y'all that buy into this
Who?
system and ain't ready to change something and say that something should be different.
I think everybody thinks something
No,
should be
they
different,
don't,
you
because they're
think?
not doing shit about it. They're not doing shit about it, Joe. And I'm not trying to be angry with you. I love you. You know I love you like a
Right.
brother.
Okay, but
not even
but
bullshit.
all bullshit aside, what are you doing?
There is
about
no
it?
bullshit. There is no bullshit in this. So
But you
it's
say
bullshit
they're
that have to be
not-
put aside. What I'm saying is like until people want to realize that there's an answer, and the answer is pulling corporate and fucking it. If you can't, there should be a limit on what you could donate to a fucking politician. Should be like $100 or $1,000. Let's make it $1,000.
I think it should be a Facebook like.
Whatever. There should be some kind of system that says it's not fucking the Koch fucking brothers.
Okay.
Pumping billions into a dude, whether it's through misdirection or fucking whatever. Let's keep it fucking real, man. We're getting fucked as a people. Hey, I do well. I'm doing myself a disservice by even saying shit.
Do you think they're gonna come get you?
No, but I think they're gonna tax me more if I keep,
You keep
preaching.
talking?
If I keep preaching the style of life I believe, I will pay more taxes. Yes.
Do you really think that they come get you? If
I will
you talk?
pay more. No, not come get me. You're fucking playing me like I'm dumb. Like
No.
you're doing the entertainment thing right now. I'm being so
I'm
real
trying.
right now, Joe, is that I'm saying they will fucking tax me more. Yes. If the government and the way of life, I think I should pay more, yes, than the fucking person who makes $36,000 a year. But you know what? If my accountant's smart enough, I don't have to. That's honesty. All right, I can fucking figure out a way not to pay as much taxes because
Legally,
I have
as long as you follow the code,
legally,
right?
even legally.
Nothing
We're
wrong
not
with
talking
that.
about illegally. I'm talking
Right.
about totally legally.
Okay.
I'm talking about what your president is pulling right now that he's never shown you his taxes. All right, he's pulling. It's you can easily skirt a lot of taxes if you have a little bit of information. Like a lot of motherfuckers are dumb enough to buy cars. All right. I don't buy cars. I'll keep it fucking real with you. I don't buy a fucking car. I lease a fucking car. You know why? Because it's a fucking basically almost 100% fucking tax write-off.
I guarantee you Bill Burr brought his car. Bill Burr owns his house.
Bill,
he
I
doesn't
love
play
you. You're
games
one of the
with debt.
funniest guys
He
ever.
doesn't play games with debt.
If you fucking lease cars, you can write off the fucking payments.
If he was in front of you right now, he'd be like, fuck you, I want to own it.
Good. Own it. And then when you want I like new cars. So guess what? I get a new one every fucking 2 years.
Jesus Christ, you're aggressive with this car thing.
No, but what I'm saying is there's games that are played that you're not even tripping on because they sold you on the opposite angle. They got rappers telling you that fucking owning your shit outright is perfect. So pay $100,000 for that car, drive it off the lot, get a dent in it. It's worth fucking $40,000 now.
I understand you're very
All right?
passionate about this, but I
No.
could see both sides. I could see that someone would want to lease something because it'd be a nice tax
Keep it.
write-off, especially if you're incorporated,
Fuck
which I'm
yes.
sure you are, and Bill is, and
Absolutely.
I am. But also, I could see someone who says, I
the
like
guy who's got
knowing-
money has the games down because I have the guys who give me the information.
There's a lot of guys
It's
that
not
would say,
the
I
average
like
Joe
knowing.
can pull this off. No, you don't have being incorporated doesn't involve being rich.
I understand that. Yeah.
But the fucking guy leasing his
LegalZoom.com.
Nissan Sentra doesn't. And he could actually incorporate himself and fucking write off his fucking $300 even a month payment. Like, there's ways to get... there's fucking games that are being played that people don't fucking know about is my point.
I understand.
All right?
This is a deep game.
It is.
We can go into
Thank you.
games that are being played that people don't know
I
about.
love
We
you,
can
and
go
I feel
forever.
like maybe I'm drunk
I love
because you're
you too.
looking at me like I'm talking
You definitely-
stupid shit right
you're
now.
definitely drunk. We
Not
went
drunk,
on a rampage
buzzed.
a little bit, but we're back.
Buzzed. Drunk is
Little
way
bit.
first. Drunk, I'd be trying to fight you, Joe.
Well, let's not do that. We're friends. War Porn Industries. When are people going to be able to download this?
Now.
Right now.
Right
Where?
this second.
Where?
Go. warpornindustries.com.
War Porn. You could probably do this show for another 2 hours until we both sober up, but I got to get the fuck out of here. So warpornindustries.com. You can get it now.
Good Dad Gang.
Good Dad Gang.
You know about that, right?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I get in that?
You're in it.
Do I have
I'm
to pay?
about to have it hooked up for you. You're going to be a fully licensed.
I just want something I can slip in my wallet
You're gonna-
when I get
you're
pulled
gonna
over by
be
the cops.
You're going to be so
Head home
in.
to my
You're going to be
kids.
able to start your own chapter.
Excellent.
All right.
Is it like an AA thing or more like a
No,
Scientology
it's Good Dad
thing?
Gang.
Okay.
It's Good Dad Gang. That's what it's called. My man Terminology, who's on the War Porn album, a rapper, started it as a movement for inner city kind of shit to get the good dad thing going, and it's Good Dad, and he's blowing it up, and it's doing
Beautiful.
really well. Good, and I'm gonna get you a bunch of merch,
All
but you
right.
can go get it also at gooddadgang.com. I make not a goddamn thing off it. That's a shout out to that fucking whole philosophy.
More shout outs. This is insane. This is a record number of shout outs, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed the show as much
I
as
feel
I
like,
have.
am I playing myself or something, Joe? Because
No,
you
I
got,
just gotta get
or
out
is
of
this
here.
just a good podcast?
It was fun.
Okay, because
I
you
had a
look
good time.
happy, and that's two things. Either we did a good podcast, or it's like, oh my God,
There was some
Everlast played
chaos
himself
in here,
this
but
whole
it was a
time.
good time.
Everlast
I love
played
you,
himself the
brother.
whole time.
I
Just
love you. Thank you
understand that
very
whatever
much.
I
Salute.
say and whatever I do is only intended to express love for humanity.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck if you voted for Donald Trump. I don't give a fuck if you voted for Hillary Clinton, all that political shit. What I was trying to point out with that, and I'll end it on this, is all of us are not involved in the game that's being played. We are victims of the game that's being played in a lot of ways, and that doesn't mean like we can't change shit. It's easily changed, but we're told it's not easy.
We are in
Okay?
a hurricane
Get
of
the fucking
evolution,
money
ladies
out
and
of
gentlemen.
politics.
Technological,
If the
cultural,
Koch brothers can't donate to a fucking party,
communication.
they can't affect a fucking
This-
election.
This is a hailstorm. Some of these ideas were good. I hope
some
you
of them were
enjoyed it.
good, some of them were buzzed, some of them were fucking fun to listen to and
I hope-
entertaining.
I hope if you take anything out of it, it's Jocko Willing's video good.
That's it?
No. That's
I
but that's
take
a good
offense.
part. It's a good part. It's a good part of
It's
this.
a good inspirational thing, but dude, that
intense.
was already on the internet. This was brand new,
But I'm
and I
just trying
gave
to-
you jewels, buddy. I love you.
I love you
I
too.
gave you jewels.
I agree with those. Those jewels are powerful.
One more war porn video before we go. Let's end it
No,
on a
I
war
gotta
porn
leave.
video.
I gotta leave.
Be real.
I gotta
right
leave.
now. You're
I'm so
be real.
sorry,
He's
but
shutting
I
you
can't
down, brother.
tell people where to go and get
End
it
it
because
on
it's
it. Walk
4:47.
out on it, Joe.
Can't do it because I gotta do ads.
Do the ads. Walk out. On
I
it.
can't. Honestly, I'm late already. Everlast, I love you. I love you too, young Jamie.
I love you, Joe Rogan.